pancakes. Making pancakes. But you know,
Welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is the real episode 286 of GG's The Mouthful Podcast.
GG!
That's like the only thing I can do. I'm just, that's the limit of V-Bucks that you're going to get out of me. Yeah. Actually, that's true.
That's all.
Oh, well, yes, I guess I have those as,
Well, I mean, we start the show with bacon pancakes, which, to be fair, I'm already starting to get tired of. I think, I think I'm going to start, I'm going to retire bacon pancakes, Okay. I mean, since we moved to the metaverse now, I think things should be different now. And I just so happen that I have the perfect way to start our podcast.
Okay.
This is the theme song of our podcast. Very original. I want to give you a little taste. All right.
Okay.
All right. And
I'm excited.
Here we go. And it should continue like that, right?
Yeah, I like it.
Gets it pumped up. I know.
I like it.
Yeah. It works.
It does.
It works.
It makes me want to get up and do the Carlton.
I'll do this part. That's the part where we need to do the fade out.
Yeah, I agree. I like it. Like I said, I mean, it does make me want to get up and dance a little bit to probably not look good while doing so. But I mean, you can't help but go, "Oh, this is a jam. It is
a jam. I mean, it makes me want to invoke the power of Grayskull."
So the question is, do you have the power, sir?
Do I have the what?
The power. Do you have the power?
Oh, no. Grayskull has it. I need to ask for it. Every now and then. That's why.
We got
I need to invoke it properly. I'm borrowing the power. Exactly. No, I'm just a regular prince, dude.
Oh.
I'm just, regular prince of Eternia. I'm hanging out with my my man at arms. That's his name. My man at arms. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, I forgot about that freaking guy. Remember Orko?
Orko, you do. That was his show.
Should
be Orko at the Master of the Universe.
You remember how every episode had him like hiding in the background, and at the end of the episode, you had to he'd come out with, were you able to find me today?
I forgot about that. I remember now, but I completely forgot about that.
Well, there was one that was ridiculous. It was literally ridiculous because it just came back from commercial. It's got this like little hallway, and Orko's literally just standing there, and then it pans to the left. And
he's not even trying.
The scene goes on, and it's just like, was that the hiding? What the fuck was that? It was the worst ever.
He's just hanging out with Blue's Clues there. The corner's like, we don't want to do this anymore. Why do we have to be hiding? We have to be hiding all the time.
Yeah, it was sad. Yeah, man, I'm all right with that, sir. I'm all right with that. He-Man's kind of coming back up a little bit. We all know that Bacon Pancakes, the show, whatever that show was now, I can't think of the name. That's falling to the wayside. That's how far.
Yeah, well, we just breaking news. We got a cease and desist from Filmation. We can't use that theme song, evidently. Apparently it's used for some show about the Masters of the Universe, whatever that is.
That's not even the same thing. This is about the Masters of the Universe, not their stuff, which is about the Masters of the Universe. It's two different things. Clearly.
No, this is about the Masters of Gaming.
Oh,
exactly. Unfortunately,
the gaming metaverse.
The gaming metaverse, exactly. But they could not join us here because, Chaos is, it works, and Dark, we haven't had him on the podcast. So it's just going to be you and I.
Let me tell you something. The day we have Dark on the podcast,
that's it.
That's
going to be the apocalypse, bro.
The pinnacle of, first off, all our careers of podcasting.
Yeah,
that will be the pinnacle.
He's just,
it will completely leapfrog the show from the 11,875th show that's actually on available out there to easily the third show of all time, the third podcast of all time. Just
think about it.
Having him on the show.
I know. We might end up having 15 people listening to us. We might get. I know. I'm telling you.
We need Dark on this show. That's all I know. We need Dark.
Shout out and all our love to Dark Necrodancer.
Yes, absolutely.
His name shall not be named. Nobody can know.
Shall not be named.
Yes. The secret identity.
No, we can't. We can't. I mean, then his loved ones, such as us, will be in danger, and we don't.
Yes, no, that's yeah. I thought he was a villain though.
Well, if we die because of outing his name, then he becomes the villain. You see, that becomes his origin story as a villain. And
that's right. I forgot.
We don't want that. We don't want that.
No,
exactly. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. If this is your first time listening, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there. It takes you, of course, to our Facebook group. Excuse me.
Our what?
Facebook? Oh, I'm sorry. To our Metaverse group.
There you go.
Metaverse book? Group? No.
Our meta group.
Our meta group. Okay.
Yes.
We'll go with that. Takes you right to our meta group. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do, guys, first we go into what we have been up to. Move on into some various news items. Dear Lord.
There.
What the hell?
I was just about to ask, what have you been drinking?
I mean, it must be this
There is an answer to that.
Yeah. It must be this old fashioned that I've had, and it's made my tongue a little numb. Yeah. Sorry about that.
I told you it was a bad idea to start with it. Actually, I believe it was my idea.
I believe so too. I wasn't going to shut it down, but since you did.
I'll take full responsibility for derailing the show. I'm also having here my manly beer, a Crocodile Bunker Stout.
Ooh,
that's what I'm calling it.
Okay. Oh, that's what you're calling it. That's not an actual name? Okay. What is it called?
Rock Dragon Hammerhead.
Okay, so it's basically one of those hard waters. Okay, good to know.
You listen, it is called a pissed off orchard. All right, that should tell you.
All right, fair enough.
That's what
enjoy your cider, sir.
This ain't no cider. This is a cult.
And then we finish with our hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic. I just literally pressed the thing and it went away. Oh, Next Gen Year 1 report card. Yep. We are coming up on the year mark of when the next gen, I guess, well, we're still going to call it next gen. Okay. Since the next gen, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S have been released, and it is time to look back at this wonderful year of COVID and everything that's happened.
And shortages. Now that all of us have PlayStations and Xboxes, we can finally put that at peace. We don't have to worry about Christmas holiday coming in now and trying to get a new PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series XS.
Yeah, luckily we're outside of that already, and everybody should have one.
Every one of us
this holiday. Everybody who wants one should have one by this holiday, I think.
I mean, if you don't have one by now, you didn't want it. You didn't want it hard enough.
This is obviously your fault.
Yes, exactly.
Let's call it what it is. At this point.
Are you even even gaming? No, I'm not gonna say that.
I know. I hear you. So no, we're gonna take a look back at the year that was and see how both consoles are doing overall. Just take a look at some releases, some decisions, and give our grade. It'll be between, of course, we have to do this the right way. S being the best, and of course, F being the worst.
Oh, we're not even using our scorecard, our GG official scorecard. We're just gonna, because it's not Yeah, I guess it's not the
It's not a
final
rating.
exam.
Yeah, it's
so
not a rating.
it's
And
just a rating.
Yeah, it's a report card.
A report. It's a report card.
How they're doing
Right.
so far. How they're doing. And
Sorry.
no, you can throw that on at any point. I actually
encourage
enjoyed
it.
this time. Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's like
It fits everywhere
Giles.
it goes, yeah.
It's like Giles' theme. It goes with everything. Dun, 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 dun.
That's a
So
good one.
remember, we're not synchronized, so it's gonna sound all horrible.
Oh, we'll fix it in post. Why aren't we using that one? I'm pretty sure, Capcom isn't going to have a problem with it.
No.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
They're not litigious at all.
Yeah, not even a little bit. They have yet to drop any lawsuit on anyone outside of the last one they did. I mean, that's
Exactly.
So, all right. All right. Let's go ahead and start with what we have been up to, Mr. David S. Santos.
Sure. Give my full name out there, but dark, we don't say anything. But everybody knows
number.
This fool. Sir, I'm just gonna throw it out there. I didn't watch jack shit, so I'm not gonna talk about movies. I already saw Dune, and
you're good for the year.
I don't want to watch it. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to watch anything else. There's just nothing else. What am I going to watch? The Eternals? Come on, bro. Come on.
Dear Lord, please tell me you didn't see. Did you see the Eternals?
No, I have to. Is it out? I don't think it's out.
I think it is. Isn't it? No, it's November.
No, it's not out. It's out in November or something.
Oh.
That's how in tune we are.
Yeah, I know.
That's
how interested, how much we're looking forward to it, that we have no clue.
Sir, that might end up being another surprise. Who knows? I doubt it. I
think I saw an early review that gave it what we would have considered it as a 4. I don't know how I feel about that. Said source has been known to throw 10s at folks, I don't know. I don't know sometimes.
Did he give Deadloop a 10?
I am not at liberty to say.
Because I am not going to give Deadloop a 10. I want to tell you right now.
That's right. Okay, talk to me.
I got out of the loop.
Finally, okay, yeah.
By not playing anymore.
Fuck this shit on out.
It was too. I think it all happened when a certain gentleman by a name I'm not gonna mention. It rhymes with Mad Dog. It mentions how far you are, and I said, I'm like 15 hours on it. It's like, you're like, that means you were probably at the end. I'm like, ooh, no, about that. This is probably like my second or third loop full loop that I've completed. I was way behind, and I was noticing that it's not, I'll be fair. This particular thing is not the game's fault. You and I know this. It's my way of playing is that I take my time. I enjoy gaming worlds. Honestly, I enjoy the exploring part of it. Looking for boost or whatever the items I can locate. Like, I enjoy that part. Sometimes to the detriment of game enjoyment itself. I'll be playing. I'll be so busy doing menial tasks and BS that I easily get distracted, and by the time I go back on track, I've lost interest. And in this case, it was not that. The game's not bad. The game's not great either. I'm gonna tell you right now, the game, there's never been a world where this game is a 10. I don't know what the IGNs and GameStops of the world thought that they were, giving this game a 10, because it is absolutely not. Yeah, it's not even anywhere in my top 5. I'm going to say 5 because I haven't played that many games this year, but it probably wouldn't crack my top 10, either if I've played a little bit more, or who knows. But it was starting to get tedious. It was starting to get a little repetitive. I wasn't enjoying the fact that like it'll tell me, like I wasn't really understanding that menu system that they have where it will tell me, oh, this stuff happens in the afternoon. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to pursue that. But then you go in the afternoon, let's say, for example, and you could actually get to a dead end.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so why are you telling me that I could do this then if I really can't move forward? Like, what was the point of that? Now I just wasted an entire day. Even though it's just that section, that portion of the day. But
I was going to say, it's not, I guess the way it wants you to look at it is you're not really wasting a day because it's going always to repeat itself. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there was a portion of the game where I had already put like an hour on this section, and it's a series of like a maze almost where I have to use a battery and kind of make sure that, I use it to open a door, but I can't take it out of it once I open the door because then the door will close. So I have to use it, open the door, go in, find a shortcut that will take me back to the place where the battery was. So now I can take the battery back, but still have that area open. Or the door will close, but I still have access to the shortcut that I just found, for example. Mm-hmm. The problem is that I accidentally threw the battery and it blew up, and now I have no battery. Now I have no way to continue this. But I'm like, that's it. I'm done. Rage quit. Uninstalled it, even though it's on a PC. Okay. Yeah, so I just didn't want to have anything to do with it. I just I wasn't, because I wasn't, like, the fun had stopped at that point. I started realizing that the shooting on that game is not that great. It kind of reminds me of the shooting in BioShock. Mm-hmm. And BioShock is a very good game, but the shooting aspect of it was not. Yeah. No, certainly not. The thing with the weapons felt kind of very limiting. Like I wanted to, I wanted to have a little bit more of a dynamic gameplay where, if I needed this gun at this time, I will use it. I don't have to worry about, I'm not carrying, so therefore this opportunity is wasted. Maybe I didn't need to have every gun at my disposal. Like, I'm not asking for that, but certainly not just 2. Because you can carry 3, but at least until you get like whatever silencer pistol you found, at least until you get there, you always want to have that nail gun. And shooting that thing is not fun. It's fun at first, but it wears.
In pressure situations, it's not the best for what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Honestly, I think I lucked out by finding, because it's random, I found that pistol I told you about, which was also silenced. And because of that, it's like, forget it.
But that's a pistol. You don't have to charge it like the nail gun. You can actually just pop fools with it, like, very easily. So no, every time I wanted to take someone down, I had to wind it basically. And then by the time it's one of the enemy probably crossed a wall or something, and I lost sight of it. It's like, great. Same thing with my like super cool sniper rifle that does not have a proper crosshair. I was finding myself like missing a lot of shots because it's like this crosshair this scope is terrible. Mm-hmm. Like, I was hoping for a better, even if it was a lower tier sniper rifle, one that will have a better scope, because like I could not see what I was firing in. I mean, I could see it, but I could not tell if I was like in the center, Yeah. So, but anyway, aside from that, like, the game's not terrible, and certainly didn't give me a lot of problem performance wise. It ran fine after that first patch. So
yeah, I agree. It was never bad. It wasn't the next coming. The way that it's so many.
The way that it was described, it was like what game were you playing, man? This is just a regular ass. It's not even a what you call it? Oh my god, that type of game that everybody said that everybody thought it was this genre.
Yeah, the roguelike. It wasn't a roguelike.
Roguelike, yeah, it was not a roguelike game.
No, it was just a time loop.
So it felt easy, but at the same time tedious, because you always wanted to go stealth, and you know that I'm not a big fan of stealth in games. So that part I kind of find tedious. By the end of it, I just grew tired, and I just started like rambling in the whole way, and I was still doing really good. So I'm like, okay, so I'm in the middle of the game, evidently. Well, probably not the first quarter, if I had to guess. I'm already virtually, invincible. Like, where's the next step? Like, what is, and also the story wasn't progressing at a pace that kept me interesting. Maybe because I was taking my sweet time on every stage. So I get that. That's on me, but I still can't score it very high. Right now, this game, it felt very, if I quit, I can't say it was good. So I'm 2 for 5.
I was gonna say, yeah.
If I quit the game, it gave me.
You said 2 out of 5.
2.5.
2.5. Okay.
Yeah, it's getting mediocre. Because the only reason to lean there is because at the end I was. I couldn't. It didn't do enough to keep me engaged. You know what? That's not fair. Let's say it was good, because it did give me like 15 hours. I say that's a decent chunk. You know,
until
and other people will find this. Wait.
and then ruined it for you. Thank God.
No, not you. I thought you meant like me throwing the battery. No. Honestly, it was starting to weigh. It was starting to weigh a little bit. I knew that. Oh, I'm playing this game because there's nothing else that I want to play. You know, as opposed to now, where there is something that I want to play, and there is something that I've been playing, and it should come to no surprise that I've been playing Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy.
It should come as no surprise. Okay.
Game that actually ended up surprising a lot of people, evidently. But it should come as no surprise that I picked it up, because after watching that gameplay and the previews, the previews that were not from like the major, like the main, like if you watch reviews from mainstream websites, they're always, they're always gonna tilt positive because, they feel contractually obligated or whatever.
Yeah, because it's not the final thing. Yeah.
They don't give you the they don't give you the lowdown. They don't talk to you, they tell you that like the real thing. Because let me tell you, the things that I saw from the preview that I saw, where it never went negative, because it wasn't like too negative. It was just pointing out like, look, unfortunately, this game has a lot of, bullet sponge enemies. And if you don't like that, and I've never been a big fan of it, you're probably going to have a problem with it. So the enemies are bullet spongy in this game, but I'm not having that much of a problem with it, evidently.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, it's not that. I mean, I guess it would depend, right, on the type of game, but I was looking at some of the previews and I was like, oh, I see. But it wasn't like egregious, what I mean? And so I was like, okay, I think that's going to be okay.
It kind of, that's the thing. It kind of is. The thing is that the thing is that the stuff that you're doing gets to be at least engaging enough to where at some point you don't care about it too much, because you're not going for realism. It's not a frigging The Division or anything like that. It's just going for the Guardians of the Galaxy lore, which anything and everything. I mean, we got
possible,
yellow cubes attacking you for some reason, and that's an enemy. It's like, okay, this is an enemy. And then you fight them and you end up being like, oh, okay, this is an enemy. That's kind of cool. Whatever. So I'm just gonna repeat what every other YouTuber has said. This game surprised me more than I anticipated. It's not perfect. I'm not saying that it's probably not going to be game of the year. I said probably because I'm still playing it. But what it does really fucking good. Oh my God, where to begin? First of all, the characters, obviously, Peter Quill, Star-Lord, Gamora, Rocket, Drax the Destroyer, Groot, you know them. Mm-hmm. I like this version better than the actual Marvel movies. I kid you not.
That's good. That's
a couple of exceptions. So yeah. That tells you that for all the worry about, they didn't get the likeness of the actors of the movie, like that was the actual meant lore of it. Like we haven't had 13 Batmans and like a bunch of Supermans and like everybody wanted this Guardians of the Galaxy to look exactly like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, yeah, I was going to say that's the problem with tying anything to the MCU at the moment.
Right?
Yeah, it becomes this thing. Like, that's what happened. Well, it's not the only problem with the Marvel's Avengers one, but it was an issue with the Marvel's Avengers one where I think we all audibly laughed a little when we saw the thing going, ooh, these are the B team right here. If I've ever seen some fucking B team, right? But the reality is, like you said, it's like this is not the MCU. This is Marvel.
This is an interpretation of it.
And Marvel has a million interpretations of all these characters. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. To be fair, that's exactly what I thought about this character. It's like, from the get go, I did not like the look of this Star-Lord. At all.
I was cool with it. He looked like Vanilla Ice, and I was like, yeah.
I hated that. Like, I hated that. And to be fair, I don't hate it as much now, but he's still like the couple of characters. I will say everybody exceeded my expectations except for
him,
Star-Lord, which I'm still okay because as a personable character and as the character that you play, as the sole character that you play, he plays good and he does good banter and he is like, it's not that he's a stupid character. I don't hate him anymore. I might, the design of it might not be particularly my taste, but you know what? I've gotten used to it. It's fine. Rocket, it's kind of pissing me off a little bit here. And it's a shame because if anything, he should be one of the characters that, I don't know, that bring out like the fun and the humor more than anybody. And over here.
Oh, he's a jerk, bro. He's a jerk.
I know
he's not meant to be
is
anything more than a jerk. Yeah. Okay.
No, but
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
In the movies, they kind of like tone that down slightly. Slightly.
Jerk in the film.
In the game,
that man's leg. For no reason whatsoever.
Know,
he wants to take his fucking leg.
That's funny, yeah. See, that was funny,
Yeah, but it's still being an ass.
He's still being an ass. True. Yeah. So on this one, they leave. Like he's a little too bitter for my Rocket, but it's okay. You know what? I still don't know where the story is. It's lead. I mean, it has a story and it's going. It's going. But there's still a lot to discover. I've only put. Where's my Steam? Oh shit, I need to log in. Never mind. I probably put a good 10 hours on it.
Wow. Okay. So you're in it. You're in
and
it.
Then, yeah. No. I am fully vested. Of that 10 hours, the first 6 hours was the first day. When I bought it on day one on Tuesday, which I played from the time that I left work all the way to past midnight. I was nonstop.
Nice.
Nonstop.
That's great though. When a game lets you get to that point, you know what I mean? I like that. I like those moments. Yeah.
It is like I don't want it to end. So I've been pacing myself a little bit. I don't mind playing maybe one chapter because the chapters tend to be meaty in nature. And the things that I'm finding, amazing is the fact that they have done such a good job in building this world. This version of Guardians of the Galaxy is a version where the characters are interesting. Even Peter Quill, himself. I'm not gonna spoil anything. You guys don't have to worry about. I'm not gonna be talking about anything in particular of the story. I will say that I have been enjoying it quite a bit. The characters are constantly bantering, but not in a way that feels fatiguing.
Like a way you would have a conversation with a group if you're in the middle of a job or something.
Exactly. But there's very rarely there's a silent moment. They're constantly talking about something, which is like, Jesus Christ, how much dialogue is in this game must be ridiculous because it doesn't repeat. I'm taking my time on areas like I've told you before. I am exploring and looking for stuff because that is encouraged. The game doesn't tell you that you should encourage, but I'm going to tell you. I encourage you to go off the beaten path every now and then, even if it doesn't make sense, so you can find the stuff that you're going to need to power up your gear and whatever. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. But all of that I'm finding very engaging, and the fact that they don't repeat. I don't think I have heard a line that has been repeated, So they're constantly talking something different. And the writing is really good. It's like there's some very funny stuff here. It's like, it's like watching it's like participating on a very decent,
SNL
skit? I
was going to say SNL skit or something.
SNL skit. Why would it be an SNL?
I don't know. I was just thinking, if they're consistently joking around, you have those skits where they just kind of banter back and forth. But maybe that's
right. No, but it doesn't like none of it feels like stupid. Like even the stuff that is meant to be stupid is still kind of like clever in its way. I fucking love Drax here a hell of a lot more than I liked him in the movies. Because in the movies, he was not funny. He was just dumb. He was stupid. There was no way that this character will have my respect in anything, But in this game, I fucking love him, man. He is. That his lines are delivered in a way that it just constantly have me cracking up. They're intelligent. He's not doing stupid shit. Dude, I tell you. Well, yes, I'm going to tell you, dude, fuck it. Grab this game. You don't want to miss this game.
No, I had already planned to grab it. I'm in the middle of stuff and I'm going to stop grabbing stuff when I don't actually intend to play it anytime soon because then I can get it later in the sale. You know what I mean? Because it's like I'm already in the middle of playing something, but that's my problem.
Well,
let me get it. Let me get it now. It's going to go away for some reason.
This is something not true, and that's a very healthy way of seeing it. But we need to talk about this game at the end of the year. So I'm going to need you to put that. I mean, when you're done with whatever the hell is occupying your time right now, can't imagine what. Although you were going to tell us soon. You're going to go ahead and pick this up. I'll tell you a few reasons. And again, absolutely no spoilers, completely spoiler free. You guys don't have to worry about, but, I'm playing on PC. First of all, I want to clarify.
Oh, of course.
PC version of this game is really freaking good. They did an amazing job. I am almost flabbergasted at the amount of shit that allow you to control. And I'm talking about from accessibility standpoint to obviously, graphics, the sound, which depending on your audio hardware, you can select different the different types. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that's on the consoles as well, because it makes perfect sense if you have a 5.1 surround or a soundbar or headphones. With one glaring exception that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to say that the menu options in general on the PC version are outstanding. This game supports DLSS, and so in other words, it uses AI to calculate and render the graphics, make low resolution graphics look very nice and like high resolution, without sacrificing performance, which it's like almost the next thing. Right there with ray tracing, but the problem with ray tracing is that ray tracing takes away a lot of performance. Mm-hmm. DLSS, when implemented well, and DLSS it's a technology exclusive of NVIDIA video cards. Although AMD cards have their own technology, it's a little bit different. But this, applying it on a game, if you apply it well, because there has been some other games that haven't applied it very well, but in this game, it's applied very well, and it makes a hell of a difference because your game looks freaking gorgeous, like 4K wonderful, and you're still getting like over 100 frames per second, and you're wondering like, there's no way this machine can do that. There's no way this machine can make this graphics look this good. The graphics are colorful, like comic book panel colorful, on every way. The character designs of everything, not just, obviously the guardians themselves, but every character you meet has a very interesting look. You can customize the look of your team, but I don't want to because like some of the things that they put in there. I mean, and by the way, microtransaction free. This is a single player game. This is not another Marvel's Avengers. Mm-hmm. This is an apology. This is a literal apology for Marvel's Avengers. This is what it is. Wow. It doesn't have any of that junk. The way you get like different cosmetic gear is finding it in the world, and like it's like Spider-Man. Remember the gear on Spider-Man? Except on Spider-Man, for the most part they give you like special powers and stuff like that. I don't see this one's giving you anything. It's just other than, hey, you want Star-Lord to look like a freaking Nova Corps soldier, just sure, have at it. But why would you want that?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So, but the option is there, and it's never
have
bad.
The Verizon stuff that the
no hell. Oh jeez, no. Oh god. Well, I haven't unlocked everything, so I don't know. I don't know yet.
It may be in there.
I might be surprised there with the AT&T. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to tell you that I grabbed, like, I have the option of getting this for 20%, 20% of the regular. It would have been like $47, something like that. And they have the digital deluxe, and the digital deluxe is like, it's $70, but with 20%, it lowers it to $55. So I was like, yeah, I was already ready to buy the $47 version. And I was like, it's just a little bit more. And it says it has a soundtrack, and that soundtrack is kind of amazing. I need to go, I'll go ahead and spend the extra, whatever, and I'll pay $55 for it, which is still pretty good for the digital deluxe. Total, it's the soundtrack. It's not the commercial soundtrack of the music that it has. It's more like the in-game sound. What I assume is either what plays if you turn on streaming, YouTube streaming. Like if you're streaming on YouTube and you don't want to get demonetized or blocked or whatever.
So it doesn't actually have the because they had a list of songs. So it doesn't
Yes.
have the songs. It has like the
No. Let me clarify because
Okay.
I feel like I confuse people there.
Okay.
What I meant to say is that the soundtrack itself, like the little like the separate tchotchke that you get for buying the digital version, it's a soundtrack of just music composed by idols or by the developers or whatever. The game itself does have that list of, that soundtrack that you saw of those artists. And it's the full songs, and you can play them while you're on your ship,
Mm-hmm.
or they can just happen in the middle of combat, and it's amazing.
Oh,
so let me,
okay,
I'm telling you, so let me tell, so let me tell you, well, I already told you, graphics, phenomenal. The game looks amazing. Okay. So soundtrack and sound score, also great. The soundtrack itself of the commercial music, how would you say that? How to differentiate it from the sound score from the music that from the developers?
If it's a score, it's usually orchestral.
Orchestral, right.
Yeah. And then the soundtrack is really little tracks of music that you recognize as actually being music.
Yeah, the songs from artists that
exactly.
we know exactly. So the game has, because remember the game also has music from what I assume is a fictional 80s band called Star-Lord, which is the reason why he picked his name after the band. But it also has a bunch of like incredible 80s music. Like they really picked them nicely. When you think of 80s, cause the cinematic universe have more of that throwback, almost like late 70s music, or early 80s. Come and get your love and stuff like that.
I remember that.
So this one is this version of the Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess, is more entrenched in the 80s music, because you'll be listening to, Motley Crue, Kickstart My Heart might come in, Billy Idol, White Wedding might come in, Aha, Take On Me might start playing. Dude, yes. And let me tell you how awesome of a moment, and probably one of nominated to one of my gaming moments of this year, is to be in the middle of a fight. And when you're in the middle of a fight, it gets to a point where you fill up this meter. And in this meter that you fill out, you can use it at any point. You're not mandatory to use it, but if you're looking not super great, like if you're getting your ass kicked here, and it could get difficult, in some areas, not super hard. I'm not talking about anything like that, but you don't expect that. Sometimes it kind of gets a little bit high. Anyway, when you feel like you need a boost, what you do, and you have that meter fill, what you do is you press, I believe it's both bumpers buttons, and suddenly Peter will call in like the whole team, kind of like if they were huddling.
Oh, I've seen that. Okay. That's
and then
what that is. Okay.
Yes. So they will call it, and then the characters will tell you how they feel the battle it's going. Obviously, often enough when you use it is because things are going bad. So they kind of need their leader to pump them up. They give them a speech or something, a pep talk. Yeah, exactly, a pep talk. So, and then you get two choices. Now, you can fuck up in this, but it's not that bad. Let's say if you pick the wrong choice, they'll be like, what the hell is he talking about? Or what the hell? That doesn't make any sense or anything like that. But they still get their life back. It'll still refill their life bar. If you say something that get them hyped up, now they're getting a power boost also on top of refilling their life bar. So the problem is, while you're trying to internalize what they're telling you, and the time's running out because it obviously does that thing where you only have a certain amount of time to pick one answer or the other. So a couple of times already, I have selected the wrong one. I'm like, no, why would I say something like that? It's so stupid. And it really makes you feel stupid because they'll be like, I'm still trying to grasp what the hell is referring to, and it makes you feel like a dumbass, but whatever, because it still feels you still need to, help out. But what I'm saying is that when it does that, now whatever music was playing, whatever orchestral music was playing, will be replaced with one of the songs from the the commercial soundtrack. Right. So I suddenly had a hot take on me started playing while I was doing this boss fight. And it was surreal. It was so silly. And I had another one where when I was battling a bunch of enemies and I was getting my ass handed and I did a good pep talk. And when I went out there, Wang Sheng started playing. And everybody's having fun tonight. Everybody have fun tonight. And while I'm like kicking ass and doing this move, and let me tell you, yes, this is what I wanted to get to, where I mentioned that the battles are the enemies are very bullet spongy, but it makes up in moments like this. It makes up in moments where you are attacking and suddenly you can also command your teammates to help you out.
Attacks, yeah. And
sometimes you get button prompts that, if done properly, they will perform a kind of like a dynamic attack, and you will see like both of them or all of them suddenly doing this crazy ass moves on this one enemy, kind of like destroying them, and the cool factor just jumps to 11 on those cases. Nice. It's so rad.
Music can definitely make a huge impact on the gameplay. So
I believe so. I honestly believe so. That's why it's important. That's why it's. You have to mention music. And to be fair, it's not to say that, it's like the fighting stance of it on its own. It's just that the music enhances it. Mm-hmm. Because there's a moment, most of the time you're not activating the standard music. You are, or if you're playing I'm streaming on YouTube or on Twitch mode, when you activate that, you're not listening to those songs. You're listening to like songs from the game itself, or whatever. But it still enhances the battle. So you're playing as Peter Quill. Unfortunately, just as Peter Quill. I felt like, man, that was a little bit of a missed opportunity, but I bet a sequel of this might actually give you the option to expand. Cause I just see it.
Yeah. Maybe.
It just makes sense. All the games have done it. On this one, you're just purely Peter Quill. You attack with elemental guns. You hover or fly for a limited time using jet boost, like you see them do in the movies. And it looks pretty rad doing so. You also command, like I said, you command each character in combat. I'm gonna tell you though, that does get a little hectic because combat is kind of frantic in a way that it really does. Like you saw those demos on E3.
Yeah.
And we were all thinking like, oh, I don't know, man, that kind of interrupts the flow. You're opening up a menu to select an attack and all that. And now this combat is starting to look very slow. Well, some of the idols probably overheard that and did not like it. And they were like, oh, too slow, you say? Okay. All right. All right. Hey, guys, we need to huddle up over here. We need to talk about a way to make this a little bit more, shall we say, dynamic. How can we speed this up? Oh, let's take away any slowdown and let's just get you to make your selections. Your selections you should be thinking, because each member has a different type of power that is ideal to attack a certain type of enemy. Let's say, for example, if the enemy is weak to stagger attack, then you can send, hey, Drax, can you take care of this fool? Because, your attacks are not as strong as Gamora's with a sword, but they stagger big time. And, hey, Groot, there's this group of enemies coming. Can you just like grab them and root them in place? And he will do that. And those things, like those, when you nail those attacks, they're awesome. Rocket has grenades, and I'm just telling you about the beginning ones that they start with. You can unlock more attacks. I haven't unlocked them all. But this beginner ones, like, you want to make sure that you know when to use them at the right time.
Yeah.
But because everything's happening so fast, sometimes you're just mashing buttons because you just need something to happen to the enemy that is shooting at you because it's hurting you and you're not super strong. Although you have a shield, but I mean like a body shield, not like a Captain America shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the people that might not get. But I mean, that thing could deplete quick. You can't, this is not a game where you can just button mash your way out of things. I mean, maybe a little, but you want to think what you're doing. Yeah, exactly. Some people said, this game was kind of easy. I'm finding it like it's the right type of difficulty where it's not a breeze, but it's also not stopping the flow of the game. I've always told you, I like when games make me feel like a total badass. And I may be doing stupid shit with the controller, but what is showing on the screen looks very badassy. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. The animation is fluid enough so that everything that you're doing looks really cool. So yeah, that's what I meant. That the bullet sponginess of the enemies is kind of like counteracted by how well the fighting feels, when you're fighting, when you're attacking, So not that many boss fights yet. I think I can say that I probably encounter like 2 or 3 maybe, and they haven't, like, only one of them has felt like, oh, this is a real boss fight. It's taking a while. I had to figure out the attack, but it's nothing super hard either. It's just, again, me flumbering with the buttons, trying to figure out what kind of attacks to do. I'm playing with the DualSense on PC. Okay. And again, just another thing that proves how great of a port this is. On PC, that it recognizes that you're using a DualSense and it changes the button prompts to the proper sacred symbols. Let's call them.
I wonder why we would call them that. So
all of that, I'm just going to summarize saying that all of that is part of the good. So very little to talk about the bad. Let me see. What could I say that is bad about this game? Again, it's not perfect, but what can I say? Oh, right. The fucking photo mode in this game should die 1,000 deaths. It is annoying. It almost ruins the experience. It comes out when you least expect it, and it fucking breaks the moment. I hate it with a passion. I have never looked into modding a game. I've been looking to see if there's any hacks out there that will allow me to stop this from happening. Because the developers, on their infinite wisdom, have decided to make the photo mode by activating it by pressing the thumbsticks.
Oh, okay.
You're a fucking jackass if you put anything on the thumbsticks, on pressing the thumbsticks. That should never be used. That should only be used for running. And that's it. Don't put important shit on it because it's always gonna get pressed, especially if you're in the middle of the battle and you have heavy hands like I do. And you are, you're in the middle of battle and suddenly the game stops and it wants you to take a picture. Like, what the fuck is that, man? It is. Like, I will knock this game 2 points, 2 entire points just for this. Just for the fucking photo mode. And I'm telling you, because
That's
they could have.
They would have put it there. Just in looking at them, like, why would they put that there?
They could have just, like, pause the game like every other normal game. Just pause the game. Select photo if you want to take a pretty picture. I get it that the game gives you beautiful visuals and, fucking Square Enix wants us to do their marketing for them. But interrupting combat, like interrupting middle of combat.
Can you move it though? Is there a way?
No, that's the thing. That's what I'm telling you.
All the accessibility, you can't move that shit around.
And you can exactly. That's what I meant. It has all the accessibility, all the options that you can imagine. That they to do, and it doesn't allow you to remap. I don't think it allows you to remap the controllers at all. Like again. Shocking. Like, why would you do that? Like, why give me all these options and not give me the most basic human right? Gaming right. Allow me to remap buttons. I never remap buttons. I'm sorry, MacDub. I don't remember how the stick, how the up and down looks, but I don't recall if it even has the option. So go ahead and check to see if it has that. But I can tell you right now that if you want to attack with something else, other than Square, for example, or something, you won't be able to because it doesn't let you remap. Okay. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But I assure you 100% that even if it lets you remap something, it's gonna be everything but the fucking photo mode. I hate it,
photo
dude.
Mode stays no matter what.
I hate it. Like, why would you do that? I'm constantly I'm playing with the gamepad because I want to have that experience. You know what? There's some games that I play with keyboard and mouse on PC because I'm playing on PC. Duh. But this is not the type of game that I need to play on PC. Most third person type games you don't really. So I'd rather play with the controller. But at this point, like there was a section where I just stopped playing with the controller. And I checked to see if maybe it was like, maybe it's the PS5, the DualSense controllers are kind of, it's easy to press this button. Let me switch to the Xbox one. And I did, and it was just as god awful. It's like, Jesus Christ, like have an option to toggle that shit off. Like, I don't care about photo modes in games. Consoles have a way to take pictures and screenshots and do all your marketing for you. Like, I don't care about that. And I'm sorry if people that like that, I'm not saying that they should remove photo mode. I'm just saying, give me the option to turn that shit off.
That, or it should probably be mapped better. But I mean,
just make it an option on the menu, like
as an avid photo mode user,
yes, enthusiast
myself,
like yourself, yes.
I'm going to go on a limb and say, sir, I'm going to need you to not brute handle your DualSense. You know what I mean? Handling it like your, Gorilla Grodd, maybe the problem. I don't know. It's saying a little delicacy. You know what I mean? The DualSense is, a delicate piece of tech. You know what I mean? And you're here, you're grumbling
and handling it. I'm like, move! I'm playing like all the dads they show on every movie where they show playing a kid video game. They're just moving and shaking the controller and shaking themselves left and right.
It's all motion. I'm just going, who plays like this? Although to be fair, I do recall, a few ex-girlfriends who used to play this way, where they, we'd be playing a racing game and then they're turning the controller.
Turning the controller
for whatever reason. I guess that's supposed to do something.
Oh, that's how motion control was born.
I mean, for sure.
And they were like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wait, why haven't we already thought of it? Of course, they probably did. It just didn't have the technology at the time. But, so, yeah, no, I get it.
It is. I'm telling you, for all the positive that I have to say about this game and how much it surprised me, I can't believe that they just fucking fumbled it so badly on a simple thing. Because it is a simple thing, but it just takes you out of the experience. And it happens constantly, bro. It's like really, I have posted on forums. I have looked for...
Anybody else going, yeah, this is
no, I don't
so just
see anybody.
You and your Gorilla Grodd hand.
Apparently it's me. It's not affecting anybody else, just me and my thing. But that's what I'm saying. If I have an accessibility problem, then handle it.
I mean, in their defense, they are just becoming aware of said issue. They're like going, "Oh shit! Has anybody? Have you heard of this before?
Strong grippery."
Yeah. So I didn't know we needed a code for Gorilla Grodd, guys. Did you know that we need to code for this guy?
They're probably like, yes, it's called play with the keyboard.
Yeah.
That's their option. Because on the keyboard, it's like F12 or some like obscure button that you're never going to press because your finger is never going to reach that far.
Graze it by accident. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no. Over here, they make it like, let's make it the fucking, the stick, the one button you're engaged for the entirety of the game. Yes, let's make that the photo bomb mode. That's what I'm calling it, the photo bomb, because it just
at this point.
Oh god, it's terrible. I don't know. I just wanted to rant about the fucking photo mode because it's fucking terrible. But yeah, aside from that, I am really enjoying the rest of it. Too much to complain about anything else. That's not to say that it doesn't have some ugly things. And about the ugly, I already gave the good, the bad, and now the ugly. Like I mentioned, I'm not hating on it either, but I'm not particularly enjoying what they did to this version of Rocket Raccoon. Mm-hmm. He seems like, what's this character from Cheers that was always kind of bitter? I don't remember. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. He sounds like Cliff. Oh man, but a lot angrier, a lot angrier. Which is okay. You should see what they did with Gamora. They really livened Gamora up, a lot, to a way that I love whoever is the actress that plays her, like her voice, the character design, everything is like spot on. Like I really, really like this version of Gamora.
Okay.
And Drax, it's probably my favorite character.
Yeah, you can't stop talking about Drax.
Yeah.
Top of the line. Okay.
I mean, hey, you get, even from Groot, you get like, hey man, you know what? You're a good version of Groot, but again, it's hard to to mess you up.
One dimensional, so
yeah,
we're going very far here.
Yeah,
you no longer sound like Vin Diesel. It's
no, exactly. You don't sound
we can give,
but you sound convincing. If a tree could talk, you sound convincingly like a talking tree. Exactly. So I'm okay with. I'm gonna allow that. I'll allow that.
In a world of talking trees, you're probably the best.
You're probably yes. I would say you're the Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
The controls. I'm not. They're not bad because they're not. Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, you do have a lot of things mapped that you kind of have to remember. I feel like eventually as you play through, they're gonna become second nature, but you're grasping with a lot. And speaking of grasping, the fucking photo mode. Yeah. Anyway, but no, what I was gonna say is that sometimes it could feel like you get stuck a little bit. It's not too bad. Honestly, if I were to say, I'll be nitpicking a little bit, but you know how, again, in some areas in the game, because of the way I play, I don't like to be just running around like an idiot. Sometimes I just take a stroll and I take the views, especially if everything looks so nice and pretty and beautiful. It's like,
yeah,
I'm a stroll. I'm a stroll around. I'm a walk.
Was really this character, would I be running at this moment?
Would I be running like a like a chicken with?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Who are we running from? We're not running from anybody.
Which is the reason why it annoys me a little bit, just a smidgen, where characters will be talking to me and I'll be going the opposite route, which makes no sense. Thankfully, the game is intelligent enough, or they're programmed intelligent enough, where the characters actually, they acknowledge the fact that they're like, what the hell, where the hell are you going? Like, what are you doing there? Or, oh, there goes better cool, exploring some more or getting lost some more or whatever. They do it in a very, it's clever, Mm-hmm. They cleverly acknowledge that you're doing something stupid because it's a game, Yeah. So, which again, it just adds up to how endearing the whole fucking thing feels. But yeah, I've also experienced a couple of very minor bugs, like nothing game breaking so far. I mean, one of them even was handled kind of elegantly, which is I was jumping on an area and I kind of got stuck in the geometry, which I feel like, game's this polished, because the rest is very polished because it's running very well. It's like, I did not expect to get stuck in the geometry. But the game recognized that I did get stuck in the geometry, and it kind of faded to black, and it came back, and I was so
it recognized it. All right, well,
so it recognized I got stuck. So I was like, okay.
Respect,
Fair enough, yeah.
Coding, hey, should someone get stuck, we need to have a backup plan here.
Yeah, exactly. That is not reset and go back to your last checkpoint. So it did that. The other one was just more silly in nature and kind of forgivable. Is I'm talking to Gamora in I don't know if it was in my bunker or on her bunker but the thing is that the door was closed, and then when she finished the conversation, she kind of like just faced through the wall when the door was still closed, like it didn't open. I was like, oh man, come on. And it was a good moment too. So it was like, oh, you have to ruin it with that.
I did used to watch a YouTube video. I'm sure you've seen this one. Game Toolmakers Kit or something like that is one of the channels.
No, I haven't seen that.
And so one of the things that they were mentioning is how difficult it is to program doors. It's like one of the most difficult thing.
The triggers, yeah.
So that's
triggering
clearly that particular challenge has reared its ugly head.
Yes. You're not wrong. Yeah. But even that, like the entire package has felt very polished. This game is running really well, on PC, and I have no doubt that it'll run just as well on PS5 and Xbox Series X. Dude, I'm playing, I even have ray tracing on, which I have a fairly beefy machine, but there are some games with even that could take you down to, I'm going to say down to 60, but what I mean by that is that in some areas, then it's going to be lower than that, and you're going to notice, but in this game, like, no hiccups. It's just, it keeps on, ticking. It's like, wow, okay, I'm impressed. Careful when you exit out of the game, because it allows you to save anywhere. I've noticed this doesn't happen in missions, but when it happens on your ship, let's say you got to your ship and it's kind of like a Mass Effect hub, let's call it, right? You walk around, you talk to people, you discover stuff. And you can do all that and then decide to save there. And then when you come back the next day, you realize that even though the game is telling you, okay, I just saved the game and it has a timer. Last time they was saved 0 seconds ago, 1 second ago, 2 seconds ago. You're feeling confident that it saved at that spot. No, it takes you to the beginning to where you just walked into the ship, and whatever interaction you have done already, you're either going to have to do it again. Yeah. If you want to count it for whatever reason, not that I think that matters, or just skip through it, you know? So if you get to a point on a chapter and you need to leave it there, and you're back at your ship, just leave it there, or go completely onto the start of the next chapter. And as soon as you land on the next planet or whatever, save right there. And that'll keep you what it is.
Keep you going.
Yeah, it's difficult to rate this game right now as it is. But I mean, it's very, very strongly projecting a 4.
Okay.
That is if I completely ignore the photo mode being in the middle of the controller, because that would have knocked it down to a 2.
Fair enough. Shit. Fair enough.
But yeah, grab this game before the end of the year, sir. You only have 2 months. So
sounds like I have plenty of time. Is what you're saying? Okay.
Yeah, no, true. As long as you do. Hey, I heard people were complaining about this game being short. I'm like, I'm getting a fairly amount of gameplay out of it to where if the next chapter was the last, I will still feel okay. Mm-hmm. So, and it's not, and I know it's not. I might be probably in the middle of it if I had to guess. But I don't know why some people, very minority, have been complaining about the game being short for its price. It's like, dude, what do you expect?
It just sounds like people who don't understand that. First off, when you look at the quality, just the quality of the game, it's like you are already, you're already limited to what you're going to do. You're not going to have a freaking 50, 80-hour game when it looks like this.
Well, Dark Souls says hi, though.
Let's be real here. Let's apples and oranges, bro. Apples and oranges. Yes. And by the way, it also didn't come out running very well.
True.
It runs well now on PlayStation 5.
12 years later. Yeah, exactly. And with a mega machine now.
Exactly. So, but yeah, no, it sounds like to me, it sounds like it's going to be your standard anywhere 15 to 20 hour game. Just from what I would look, that's what I was expecting. You know what I mean? Right. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want. You know what I mean? That's exactly. Yeah. So you have folks who are, this is Ubisoft's fault. I blame Ubisoft for that shit, because I'm like, you guys are making 100-hour games every fucking year. It's like, and you don't even run credits because you don't want them to stop playing.
You don't want them to stop playing.
Yeah, keep going. You fucking emailing people to say, hey, you haven't played the game. This is all you play. But what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck is this?
You just reminded me that Riders Republic is out, and I kind of want to jump into that also because I've been hearing good things. Oh, I was thinking so hard about SSX Tricky last night. I couldn't I couldn't sleep because I wanted that game to be out. Wow. So a remake of that game was SSX Tricky. Anyway.
So for me, I'm happy to say I'm still playing Battle Chasers Nightwar, and I'm more happy to say that I got Chaos to jump in on it, and he's fucking loving it.
Really?
Yes. So
you're gonna be playing Guardians of the Galaxy, and you chose to pick up this RPG. Well played, sir. Well played.
To be fair, I picked this RPG up somewhere like in early August, because I got it on sale. Yeah. But we found out because he asked me what the price is. I'm like, I don't know, dude, it was on sale. I literally paid, so I won't say what I paid yet. The game is $29.99, which for what I'm playing is well worth it. It's a game from 2017, so it's it's already been out for a bit. And I paid $4.50 for it.
Wow!
So I kind of this was literally a steal because it is really a lot of fun, dude. I am absolutely.
Yeah, I would love to grab that for this that price. That's amazing. For
$4.50, that's if you like ARPGs, it's a fucking steal. Yeah. But in its defense, $29.99 is a very good price for it. There's nothing wrong with it. He's surpassed me. He's a you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is chaos. You know,
yeah,
you shouldn't have tempted him.
And the first thing he said was like, "Can you grind in this?" I'm like, "Yeah, you can grind because you can go back into dungeons at any point and just redo them."
You spoke his language.
Yeah,
grinding on RPG is his love language.
Yeah, exactly. It might as well be Latin to him.
Yes.
But no, it is. I'm really enjoying it. We just not picked up, but we just got another character in the party. I love this fucking character, and he is just freaking awesome because he's a mage. You know what I mean? And he's an old man. You know what I mean? But when the fight starts, he's floating in the air with like his like sitting in a cross position, but floating. Grabs a stick from he slams down the floor, and then out of nowhere he has his hand out like if he was fucking Thor, and his staff comes in. You know what I mean? It is like boom, and then he's in the fight. He is, I don't know, just the design of the characters are. I've spoken about it before. I'm not going to say it long with it, but design of the characters is a lot of fun. The hits have this meaty like feel to them because as they hit, the controller's like responding to it. You know what I mean? And it's just like
nice.
So it's not like just a simple hit like in any other RPG. No, you can feel the weight behind them. And
nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It is turn based, as I mentioned. It's not active time, so you can literally put the controller down. Nothing will happen until you pick it up. So there's obviously a strategy behind it. I've unlocked some supers, which I didn't even know that was a thing the first time I was playing. It was like, oh, they're almost like limit breaks. If the comparison of a game most people have heard of, almost like a limit break. It stops for a second, does a quick whatever, and then they do this special, and it's just like, oh, this is so fucking good.
Be ready for auto attack. Persona.
The good thing is they don't say shit. You know what I'm saying? Just do like I love I love the mage. The mage is too cool. He stops. He gets his staff up out of nowhere. I guess what would be a sorcery book, and he waves his hand, and all the pages go. You know what I mean? And then he stops on the thing and then he just grabs, like he makes a fist with his hand, and the power comes out and he just launches the fire. I was just like, God, they really, it's like these guys who made this understood what you want to see in a classic JRPG. It is 3D models. The backgrounds and everything are really well made. I don't know, dude. I'm having a lot of fun with it. The dungeons are a lot of fun. You do find a lot of interesting stuff because in the dungeons you can get, there's crafting involved. There's a lot that I think that may be a little overwhelming because there's a lot that you can do. There's crafting involved to
and then Chaos came in and said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah. He's just like, and then forget it. I was concerned because I was like, well, I think you'll like it. You know what I mean? I was like, I don't know, because he was like, he hasn't been into turn based. I was like, well, if you haven't into turn based, I don't know if this is gonna suddenly whatever. But I kind of gave him the elevator pitch, if you will. And then he said, fuck it, right? Because I guess it was his payday. He was like, oh, I got paid. And he went in and just fucking paid. And then before you know it, by the way, he was playing Far Cry 6. And then he's playing this game. And then he messages me yesterday. He's like, dude, I love this fucking game. And I'm just like,
nice.
I'm like, it's better than Far Cry 6, guys. There you go.
Confirmed.
So anyway, it is, and it's funny because Dark is always, is always nudging like, oh, what freaking indie game is Mad Dog playing today?
There you go. And, now get him into the spell also.
Oh my God! If I can get him to the spell, forget it. Again, the world's over. That's it.
I know. I want to play this. I want to play this game. I've seen it. It looks great. I was a little concerned because it felt like at one point you were saying like, I'm kind of in a lull. I'm like, I thought you were playing Battle Chasers, but it looks like that mage actually did a spell on you, and you picked it up, and now you're
in that. I'm still kind of in that look because the whole deal is and this is just my own personal. I've just kind of reduced how much because I'm right. So so I'll get into what's been taking the majority of my time, and I think that has to do with a lot with the lull. But I have been watching a lot more films, and I when I get out of my room, I have, and it could be because of my job, you know what I mean? But I have a desire to just sit and just be engrossed in something that I do not need to move for. You know what I mean?
Oh, there you go. You don't even want to be active. You don't even want to grab a controller. You're like, nope, I just want to vegetate here for the next, 5 hours. I hear you.
You know what? That's probably why this JRPG turn-based is calling me, because it's like, I don't require to be here all this time. There's a lot of lore that you can pick up inside the dungeons, and I glazed over them real quick. Okay, you know what I mean? I said the main story is all I'm into, and anyway, that's what I really think it is. But I wholeheartedly, if you really like JRPGs, this team has done a really good one here, and I think it needs to be recognized. They have had, let me see, these are their name is Airship Syndicate, who have done let me see here. They did Darksiders Genesis. They did obviously Nightwar, which you just did, and that's it. Those two. Those are the two games. But I can definitely say that this is really it's really special. It's really a special
I love it.
I
love what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I love the fact that there's so many little things you can do in it. When you go to the inn to rest for the night, on occasion you'll have a little cutscene because the characters are, so it fills in a little story. Because again, I remember I told you this game, unlike a lot of our JRPGs, you're not the sole person and then gaining people as you go. You are already on.
You're already a party, yeah,
and on the way.
So you mean to tell me you're not a mute child that has that don't remember his past, and the mother, his mother wakes him up and he needs to go to the inciting incident event, and they're gonna show the world's gem, and then it's not that type of game.
None of that stuff. It is. I do enjoy the characters. Each of them brings something different to the table. When you switch, it's a party of 3, and so far I have 4 characters, and I believe the max is 5 because there's only 5 characters when you first get into the game. So if there's an extra one I don't know about, but the reality is, I mean, you have skills, perks. You've got your status effects that you can do on people. You have this thing called overcharge. When you attack, you have a bar. So you have mana, right? So you have your MP bar, right? But that's limited, and it, as you use it, it goes down. But if you do attacks that give you overcharge, that overcharge can be used for more attacks or as mana. So even if you get knocked down and you have no mana to come back, you can start gaining overcharge to help you get those specials going, because you're using attacks that give you overcharge. It's got a different take on a tried and true formula, and I think that's what's got me. That's the hook. You know what I mean? And so I'm enjoying it, and it's honestly, I'm even more shocked that I got Chaos to do it, and not only again do it, but also that he's enjoying the hell out of it. So I'm like, oh shit, okay, good, yeah, okay. Because I was like, damn, I have to send this guy $30. I mean, I didn't want to talk him into it.
Did you say, hey, if you don't like this game is good. If you don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
But I was speaking so much of it, you know what I mean? And I feel
you feel obligated.
A little. I was like, oh man, he doesn't like this shit that I'm
but I'm just gonna pay him.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give him the money. Well, you gave it a shot. You gave it the old college try. It is what it is.
There you go. Exactly. No, hey, he liked it.
He definitely enjoys it. I know we're comparing as to where we're at and stuff like that, and that's the cool thing about those type of games. Sure, you can go to the strategy guide, but you could just compare. Hey, what did you do here? Hey, what is you building on this particular character? What are the stats that you're putting into this one? And I don't know. It's just cool. I enjoy it, and I definitely.
He got the game. He's going ahead now already. He's
Yeah. He's already ahead of me. Now I have to ask him. So where did you go? But anyway, very cool. Battle Chasers.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, I like that the fact that you start with a party, but you're still gaining more. It's not like, oh, you got everybody.
Well, you start with a party, and then an inciting event happens in the intro cutscene. You know what I mean? And you're all split up. You know, and so but you're still with a party, and of course, this is not really spoiled because it's literally seconds into the game. You meet two of your people really early on, and now you're looking for the other ones. So you already have a party of 3 at the very get go.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah. So, anyway,
really cool.
Yeah. What has been taking a lot of my time, and I mean,
here we go.
A lot of my time is
it's gonna be movies. I bet.
Freaking Dune audiobook. I am knee deep in that shit.
If it's Dune, it's all right.
I am literally 11 hours into what I think is a 22-hour long audiobook.
Holy shit.
And I'm not even at the point where the movie ends. Just let you know. Although I am coming up to it. I'm coming close to it. But I am.
How's the gameplay?
Well, in my head, it's actually really good.
Nice.
It is really, really well done. And to think, honestly, when I sat here and think, I was just like, this book was published in 1965. 1965. So where were you in 1965?
1965? I was 10 years of Adam.
Exactly. It is a science fiction novel from 1965, and it is engrossing. The audiobook that I have, I'm doing this from Audible, has...
Which is not
I do have some
one of our
sponsors.
No,
I do have some complaints. I have some stuff I like about it. It has multiple voice actors, somewhere around 8 to 10 different voice actors for this particular thing, which is awesome when they use it. For some reason, some chapters have just the narrator doing his rendition of this particular character's voice. So it throws me off sometimes because I'm like, okay, he's doing Lady Jessica, so I can recognize that Lady Jessica, but that also sounds like Mapes. That also sounds like this other because it's the same fucking old man doing the damn voice. But when we have a chapter that you actually have the actors, the other voice actors included, now you can just differentiate because there's a medley of different voices. So that's my only complaint. I don't know why they went with this. I have no idea why.
No, I mean, what will have been the option?
To use them all the time. What the hell? I mean, every chapter should use. If chapters that include Leto should use the same actor who is voicing Leto.
Oh, wait a minute. So okay, so I kind of lost your audio for a little bit. So each chapter uses a different person narrating?
Not a different person. Since you lost my audio, I will say that certain chapters have the specific voices for specific characters, and then the other chapters have the narrator do his narration and his rendition of those characters. And I don't know why. So, like I said, Lady Jessica in some chapters would be a woman who's voicing it. And then in other chapters, it would be the narrator who's voicing it.
Oh, there's no consistency there.
And I was like, why is it doing this?
Why would they do that?
Yeah. That's really my only complaint because the story's to the story. And the story is really good. And fun fact, very close to what the film that we saw so far.
Nice.
Way better than the 1984 one for the record. Just saying.
Lies.
Yeah. There are some little differences and some things that are obviously omitted from the film only because it's not necessary. There are a lot of scenes that are actually omitted because it's like, well, this is really more character building, and you only have it was a 2 hour and 30 or 40-minute movie. To include this would make it 5 hours. We don't need to do that. You know what I mean? So, there is some differences, like there's no mention of the hand signals that they do in the movie. And so it's like, okay, it's like it doesn't, there's no mention of it. But I think may have been the director's or writer's choice for the film to say there's a lot of internal, like, what do you call it, investigation. Like the mom there's a mom who's a what the fuck do they call them? My God, I've been saying it a million times and I can't fucking say it now. Bene Gesserit? I don't know what the fuck it's called. Whatever she is.
I think you nailed it the first time.
Bene Gesserit, yeah. She has abilities to tell based on your facial, like, miniature or micro movement. If you're telling the truth, if you're covering something and all this stuff. And obviously the film is not going to show that, so they have to have another way of,
it could, but yeah.
It could, but it may not have the same impact. And so anyway, that's pretty, I have a feeling that's the reason why that was not where the hand signals comes in. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. What else is a little bit different? The Fremen are like legendary fighters, bro. To the point where there is, and this is just random, there is a point where one Fremen is talking to someone, I won't say who it is, but he's like, yes, we took on some of the Sardaukar. And the Sardaukar are considered to be like the Empire's like most top soldiers. These guys are your Spartans, if you will. And so think of that one, right? Rome, Greece's Spartans, it would be the Sardaukar, and so there is a group of 100 Sardaukar, and they're taken out by a group of Fremen who are, I want to say, also number about the same. And the Fremen was like, yes, it was a good battle. We only lost 2 men. And of course, who he's telling this to is like completely shocked. They're like, is he referring to Sardaukar? No. You know what I mean? It's like, because that's how badass the Fremen are. You know what I mean? Nice. And I'm like, shit, so this obviously is not portrayed in the film as you and I, at least I didn't grasp that from what we saw. There was a scuffle between them, but if I remember correctly, the Sardaukar still came out of that. And, then there was a battle with fucking Idaho. So, so yeah, but most of the stuff is following the same pattern. Let me see what else. There's some people who the slight spoilers here, but I won't say the name. But the betrayer of what happened is known early on in the story. Known to us, the reader is known early on, but that's,
so it's not like the movie where
it was a shock when it happened. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's cool. That's and I appreciate what it did in the movie, because being a movie, it made sense.
Exactly.
To do it that way.
No, we have to have the Kaiser Soze moments, So
Kaiser Soze. Yes, exactly. That's what I say.
The cool thing about the chapters is that every chapter. So the reason why it does this is because this book is almost like a book or a story being told thousands of years in the future from the story. So because of that, it's being portrayed in a way that the reader already knows the events. And every chapter begins with an excerpt from a book called, from several books. It's some weird, and these books don't exist. They just exist in that universe. And that is the life of Muad'Dib, which is Paul, what Paul's character eventually becomes. And all these little things that were told by the princess, and these weird little excerpts and all this. And you're like, this world is just so freaking rich. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I am all freaking in on freaking Dune. Dude, Star Wars, I don't even know. I've forgotten Star Wars now. I just like, you know what? I don't even care about half of what was going on over there. They have disappointed more recently than anything else. And I have a new rich world to really dig my teeth into. And I'm just like, I'm on. And oh, by the way, it was spoilers on the news piece that I had that I'm not a spoiler. Dune Part 2 is happening, guys. The Part 2 is actually official. So even all is right in the world. Is all I'm trying to say. All is right in the world.
Sometimes things,
things fall into place.
Things fall into place. It can be cool sometimes. Yes. I was a little, I mean, worried in the sense of, yes, this is Dune. Obviously, a big, they're betting on this to be something special, but at the same time, releasing it on HBO, could have some impact. Who knows? I'm glad to see that they were happy. We still don't know how well he has done.
I can look. Let me see what the first box. I heard it did well the first day of release. Let's see, box.
Yes, I heard the same thing.
Mojo.
Well, that's good because it means that there is obviously a lot of interest on it.
It came in from the first weekend, 41 million, which is
41 million.
And this is, let me take a look because this may just be local too. 41 million. Yeah, that's all local, and so that's good. I mean, local meaning here in the States, not domestic,
right? Not
international. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't have anything for the international, so it may. Oh no, it does. So far, 236 million worldwide. There you go.
Oh,
so and that's just from one weekend, right? Because we're coming into weekend number 2. And yes, I am going to try to watch this in the theater. I'm just telling you right now. And I can see it at any point on freaking HBO. And I still want to see it again. I want to go get my 12 months or whatever it is. Anyway, my point is to say the book has its nails all firmly in me, and that's literally, dude. I come out of this room. And maybe we'll watch a movie outside, whatever. And the moment we're not doing nothing, Joe goes to help her mom, whatever. I'm sitting on the couch, TV off, phone on with my earbuds in, just listening.
Wow.
I'm just sitting here and picturing what I need to picture because now that I have some images.
Wow.
Yeah. It's good stuff, and I highly recommend if anybody has Audible or if you just want to get the book and you like sci-fi, definitely
read
check it out. For sure.
Yeah.
Read. What the hell? Reading is fundamental. So I'm told.
We don't judge, though. I do audiobooks because I don't have time to sit down.
Who has time to? Yeah.
I buy books, though.
I got to take my glasses out, and no, who needs all that shit?
No, exactly.
I did see 2 movies real quick, and I won't stay too long on them because I know we're running a little long. But the first one is a movie called Pig.
Oh my God!
Yes,
you did that.
Cage, yes.
Oh no, no interest on watching Pig, which just cements the fact that Nicolas Cage will do anything and everything. It doesn't matter.
I mean, after watching this film, you are absolutely right, sir. Absolutely right. So the basis, first off, the story is not very long, which is good. It's only literally an hour and a half, literally 30.
Wow!
It's a brisk pace movie. He is what they call a truffle hunter, and most truffle hunters either use dogs or pigs to find truffles. Truffles are mushrooms,
right.
But they're like really, really expensive mushrooms. You know what I mean? And they're not even called mushrooms. They're
called truffles.
They fall in the fungi family. But anyway, and for the record, if you ever had truffles, they're actually pretty good. But the point is, so he's a truffle hunter, and he lives in Oregon, and someone steals his pig. Truffle hunting pig, essentially. And suddenly he goes kind of in a little bit of a rampage.
John Wick?
Not John Wick, because he's not John Wick. Yeah, I won't say what he is because that's kind of a spoiler. I can tell you, Dreamy, off the air, since you have no desire to see the film, but I'm not going to spoil it here. He is not John Wick. He's not an assassin that suddenly became a truffle hunter. He's completely different. But he does. There was a seedy underbelly of Portland, Oregon. That he was a part of, and it's
the truffle.
It's probably one of the most oddest films that I've seen, but I still kind of enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie. I can't. I'm not gonna give it. It's a 3. It's a 3 out of 5. I'm not. It's a solid 3. I enjoyed a Nicolas Cage performance. I enjoyed the performance of everybody in the film as well. There's a lot of good performances here. weird things that makes you wonder, does this exist in the underbelly of Portland? Never thought, when I think of Portland, Oregon, underbelly never really comes to mind. It's like, I don't know.
In every city, man.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's possible. But
never
anyway.
been to Tampa, apparently.
Well, this is true. Yes, this is very true. I have been to Tampa, but anyway, that's Pig, Nicolas Cage. If you happen to stumble upon it and you want some weird shit, why not? The last thing, some weird shit. The last thing I saw,
pig shit. All right.
Oh, nice. Last thing I saw is a movie called Promising Young Woman. Now, this was not my choice; it was my wife's choice, but this was quite the excellent choice. It is about a woman who an event in her life traumatized her, and now she seeks out vengeance against men who take advantage of women. How she does it is not what you would probably think. This one, I'm not going to tell you anything off air because I feel like Dreamy, you may be interested in this one because I think this is this is a good film, a very good film.
Yeah,
it is a dark comedy technically. But,
dark comedy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Not a spoofy comedy. Just
no. I know.
Makes you laugh a little bit. He's like, oh, okay. It even has moments of romantic comedy, which is even more strange.
Really?
Yeah, even more strange. Because when it
goes to promising.
Well, because when it goes to the dark side, it's like, whoa,
holy
this
shit.
is some shit, So, yeah, it is. I have not seen anything like this before. It stars Carey Mulligan as the main character, Cassandra, and she this second take because it's in the trailer. She basically pretends to be drunk at bars and preys on men that prey on her, essentially.
Oh, wow.
But not in the way you're thinking. The weirdest thing is not in the way you're
I don't
thinking.
even know what to think at this point. I'm so confused. Exactly.
And then the reason why she does it, I won't say, but obviously something occurred, and then at some point it becomes a revenge tale, and now she's going after some folks. There are some. First of all, I love revenge tales. That's always been some of my favorite type of stories. But I don't know, bro. It's just, this one really caught us both off guard, for the record. Because even because again, you look at the trailer, you're not going to expect the dark parts, and you expect it to be, this is kind of serious, but not it's not gory or anything like that, for the record.
No.
But it's just the themes and some of the, it's just like, whoa, I just did not see that coming, And so yeah, that's Promising Young Woman, came out last year, 2020, and yeah, I won't say that. Alison Brie's in it too. I don't know if you know Alison Brie, but she's in it as well. Alfred Molina's in it. It's got a decent cast, and yeah, man, I don't know if it's one I can watch again, but if you did, you'd be like, okay, this would be enjoyable type of thing over again. Because when you have those humorous moments, even those that fall into what you would consider romantic comedy, you can watch those again because those are fun and entertaining. So, but anyway, yeah, Promising Young Woman, not women. And anyway, that's all I've been doing. We are back, guys, and it is now time for our useless news that you can use. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the free games that are coming out to Xbox and PlayStation. Oh,
that's what's extending our news pieces. Okay, I was wondering.
Well, I mean, hello, we got to talk about it. We're coming to the end of the month. I mean,
that's right.
Exactly.
November. Exactly. What the hell happened to October, bro?
I don't know.
What the hell's happening?
It was like, wasn't it just September? I have no idea. I have no idea where the month went. I have no idea.
Screw it. Oh, man. Okay.
Just before you know it, you're like, literally, when we go back to work Monday is November. That's it. The last days of October exists this weekend only.
Listen, December, I'm going to need you to take your time. Take
No,
it slow.
November. I need you to take your time too. We need
Well,
to.
true, but I'm
I want this
vacation in
season.
December, so
I want this season to be jolly. You know what I mean?
to be jolly,
And
exactly.
jolly, yes, I want it to be, memorable, and it's bad enough we can't buy gifts because half the shit's never going to get to us,
No.
in time because of shortage of everything. Yeah. So yeah. So all right. On better news, November's PlayStation Plus games have been officially revealed as previously leaked.
Ooh.
Next month, PlayStation Plus additions are Knockout City for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5,
Ooh.
First Class Trouble for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning for PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me,
Okay.
Re-Reckoning. So the
that's right.
the re-release of the Re-Reckoning of the
re-release of the Re-Reckoning. Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Right? I think I got that right.
Did I play that game? Did you?
No, I
ever play
haven't,
it?
and now I get to. And I'm
Yes.
very excited for it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I was
Okay.
gonna buy it. It's literally wish list on my thing, and I'm just like,
Oh, okay.
I'll get to it eventually. And now it's gonna come. It's like Sony's like, I got you, bro. I got you. Here you go. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, that's Sony.
It is good.
Yeah,
I'm just wondering. I'm wondering how it holds up. Not because particularly anything that I remember being like rough or bad or anything like that. It's just I don't know. Well, I remember it feeling very ahead of its time back when it came out, but that was ages ago. So we'll see if it kept.
We'll see. Yeah, I guess we will. I suppose we will.
I
suppose we will. All right. So that is, of course, Sony's. Let's move on over to our very own Xbox that none of us own, but still, I mean, we're going to call it our own. It is.
I got a PC with Windows 11. That's the closest.
It's not the same.
That's close enough.
No,
I get to play Halo when it comes out, and believe me, I will play the living crap out of it.
Okay. Still,
and
it's not the same thing.
Forza Horizon, I'm also getting Forza.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that's like Xbox
sure,
exclusive.
But, yeah.
And I get to play Sony games also. So there you go. I get to play everything.
You do. That makes you the traitor, is what that makes.
Wow.
You're playing both sides of the field, sir, and nobody likes that. And it normally ends in death. I'm just saying. In most tales, this ends in.
For those listening, if you don't hear me posting anymore, there's a hint right here. A hint has been dropped.
Should I disappear under mysterious circumstances?
If it doesn't get edited out.
Yeah, this is true, and I think it's my turn to edit this week. So we are good. Anyway, November Xbox Live games with gold titles have been revealed on the Xbox One and Series X. Subscribers will be able to download Moving Out for free throughout November. For the record, Moving Out is an excellent game. I own that game.
Oh, okay.
Kingdom 2 Crowns will be available for free download from November 16th through December 15th. Xbox 360 game Rocket Knight will be free for Xbox Live Gold members from November 1st to the 15th. And finally, from November 16th through the end of the month, Xbox 360 title Lego Batman 2 DC Superhero, that's a long-ass title, will be free for download. And those are your free games for November. And not free, I mean, let's be real. We always say that, but the games that come with the service you're paying for. Let's put it that way.
That's fine. That's some good stuff. Decent.
Yeah.
Okay, it's always terrible for Xbox, but what are you gonna do?
I mean, Moving Out is excellent.
Moving Out is excellent.
Moving Out is, if you ever played Overcooked, it's one of those games where, like Overcooked, you have to work together. Yeah, you got to work together in order to serve the dishes, and you got to clean dishes. You got to do all the things you got to do. Well, this is, you have a time frame to move all the items from the home into the moving truck. And it doesn't matter how you do it. If you throw the table out of the window and your partner put it in, it counts as you put it in the truck. That's you know what I mean? So,
do you need to play with people? Is it? You
do. I think that's the only issue. You do need to play.
That reduces
I'm not sure if you can play online. That's a weird thing. But I did play this with my wife, for the record, and we were having fun with it. Because we were figuring out when you have the bigger items like a sofa, you can kind of swing it so that you can throw it all together at the same time. And it's got some physics involved, which help. Like, okay, obviously, if you put too many things stacked up, it'll start to fall over. But you just got to get into the truck. And again, there's a time frame behind, but there's no failure, and I think that's probably the most accessible thing. Like, you can get anybody involved because yes, there's a time limit, so you can get stars, but if you take an hour to fucking load the truck, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? Yeah.
We're all winners.
You still move on into the next thing. You just get no stars. You know what I mean? And no points. But,
that's okay. I mean, that does sound interesting. And cute to play with a group of friends.
It's adorable.
But like, they, who cares? Xbox has Game Pass, so I'm sure they're chock full of games over there. They're not waiting for the free games because the free games are usually crap. Speaking of games that are not crap.
I was gonna say, where are we going with this?
Here's one that you didn't expect me to say.
Wow.
Dr. Dre is reportedly making new music for Grand Theft Auto. Yes, you heard that right. Leave it to Snoop Dogg to deliver some of the biggest news. Snoop Dogg says Dr. Dre is working on new music for an upcoming Grand Theft Auto game. And I'm sure he better not be referring to fucking San Andreas, because that wouldn't make sense to make new music for San Andreas, right? Obviously, indication here thinking that, hey, finally new GTA, because we only had GTA 5 since two console generations ago.
25 years, I know.
Yeah, 25 years, yes.
Basically Warcraft at this point.
I was in high school when that game came out. I say, no. Snoop Dogg revealed the news while as a guest on the Rolling Stone Music Now podcast, in an episode that will air on Friday. Well, that aired already on Friday. Snoop said, quote, "I do know Dr. Dre is in the studio. I know he's making great fucking music, and some of his music is connected to the GTA game that's coming out. So I think that will be the way that music will be released through GTA, to the GTA video game," end quote. Interesting, actually. Dr. Dre dropping some serious beats on new beats on GTA. Also, I inadvertently made a pun with Dr. Dre Beats, the headphones.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. In an article published,
completely. Apologies.
No, I didn't intend to, so don't worry. In an article published on Wednesday, Rolling Stone's representative for Rockstar Games Rolling Stone says a representative from Rockstar Games declined to comment. There's a chance Snoop Dogg could be referring to the recently announced Grand Theft Auto Trilogy remaster. He better fucking not. Because he, again, makes no sense. Dr. Dre was featured on the radio station in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. But those were previously released songs. I can't read today. I've had too much
hard cider. Okay.
Yes. No. Yes.
That damn hard
Zima.
cider.
Who wants Zima? Too many. Is it White Claw, Bear Claw?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Carbonated water. Yeah.
I'm having a White Claw with a Bear Claw.
Hard water.
There you go. Hard water. Rockstar hasn't yet talked about how much of the original radio station music has been licensed for the new versions of the games, or if any music has been replaced. Or maybe Snoop Dogg is referring to the expanded and enhanced GTA Online that was originally announced to debut with the next-gen version of Grand Theft Auto 5, but those next-gen has been delayed. Again, he better fucking not. This better be GTA 6. Rockstar added new music featuring GTA Online to GTA Online on summer 2021. Collecting media sticks in GTA Online unlock new music for your vehicle radio station, including music that hasn't been released outside of GTA Online. So maybe the new music from Dr. Dre will be available first in a future update of GTA Online. Or did Snoop Dogg just reveal Grand Theft Auto 6? We can only hope.
I was going to say, I lean on that one. He probably, we're doing the new GTA. Oh, shit, I wasn't supposed to say that. Damn.
Oh, they don't care. And Rockstar does care, though.
I don't think Rockstar cares either, because they were like, Snoop Dogg is just giving us attention for something that's
I don't think that's how, especially Rockstar, which tend to be litigious AF. Like I'm not saying he's gonna go after Snoop Dogg, but they're not gonna go after it because there's a partnership there. But I think they wouldn't want to reveal anything on GTA 6 while GTA 5 is still making money.
I mean, that's the whole.
He didn't say though. He didn't say no.
That, so.
We can only hope.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. So well done, Snoop Dogg. Well done. All right. My next piece is now lost to me. That's right. There was a state of play that happened this week, and because I didn't care about it, is why it was lost to me for a second there. Yes, Sony had a state of play that can only be described as the antithesis of E3.
But they had such a good one last time. What happened?
I don't know. It looks like they blew their load over there and said, "Oh, no. I'm sorry." That's
Sony.
So I'm just gonna roll through some of the games that they showed. None of which are really, that's not true. None. There's a couple that I personally were like, "Oh, cool, good to know." The rest are, I don't know. So the first one is Deathverse. Let It Die, which actually exists within the Let It Die universe. I don't know if you remember Let It Die. It is a multiplayer survival action game built around a reality game show in which you fight it out for fame, glory, and fortune. So,
Running Man?
Very similar to Running Man, or along those lines, but it is really in the end a multiplayer. What do you call it?
What is it like? Another Royale?
Battle Royale, yeah. Now it is being done with style from what I saw, and I'm like, okay, this is what they started the show with, mind you, so that obviously means something to them. Again, called Death First, Let It Die. The next thing they showed was called We Are OFK, which is an indie pop band. Yeah, I know. From the co-designers of Hyper Light Drifter, which is pretty cool. This is going to be a 5-episode music biopic series. And that's all I'm going to say. And then Bug Snacks, the Island of Big Snacks. Yes, there is an expansion to a game that really didn't need one, but I guess they felt the need to do it. Free update coming in early 2022 for whoever is enjoying Bug Snacks. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach got its 12th trailer. Okay. Because every state of play seems to include Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't get it. But anyway, yeah, they showed it off again. It's coming out in December. Yeah, I don't know why they're still showing this game. Here's one where I was happy about, and this is, of course, from publisher Devolver Digital, developer Acid Nerve, and that is Death's Door is officially coming to PlayStation.
Oh, you got me that game.
I did. I
thought that you played it though.
You have not even fucking touched it, have you? No, it doesn't. It doesn't exist until now on PlayStation. This was an Xbox, Switch, and PC. So
you don't even know if it's good.
Oh, I know.
You got me. No. Oh, I know it's good.
It's good. Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
Journey through the dark and offbeat world as a bird with a sword in this captivating adventure. It does, according to this creator, is using the DualSense controller features to further immerse you in the world, which is very good. Obviously, DualSense being essentially one of a kind when it comes to delivering, when it's used well, a very visceral experience in gaming. So I am very interested in this one. This one is a buy for me easily. Then they showed off a poor attempt to go after Super Mario Kart, and that is a game called Kart Rider Drift. The Unreal Engine 4 Power Arcade Racer brings its competitive combative modes to PlayStation 4, and you haven't long to wait to try. The beta launches in December, and this is a free-to-play game. So, to be fair, anybody can jump in at any time, even once it launches. So, I guess that's not so bad.
Okay.
King of Fighters 15, SNK's fighting franchise debuts.
Finally, your favorite.
I mean, even Street Fighter is only up to what? 5? You know what I mean? And these guys are at 15, and I missed the first 14. How about that?
Oh, how about that?
No, to be fair, it looks like a typical fighter again. It's coming out next month. Or actually the open beta, comes out next month, and no release date. First Class Trouble is a social deception game, very similar to what's that game that everybody was playing for a little bit there, where you had to find the killer, or you were the killer, or whatever it was.
Yeah, with the imposter.
The fuck was that name of that game? Anyway, this is similar to that, only it's 3D. It's almost like they exist in a world where it's almost like Fallout 4 world, essentially, is what it is. So it technically you can either be the imposter or someone or in there. It's called First Class Trouble. It looks a little stiff and janky, like Fallout. So hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
It goes with the art style.
It goes with the style they're going for. The trailer was narrated by 2 of the developers, and that never goes well, and it really did not. And then from here, they showed off Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Square Enix marks the 25th anniversary of the sci-fi fantasy RPG series with the announcements of a new title coming to PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4 next year. Star Ocean: The Divine Force. Early impressions just from the trailer. Looks like it's okay. Look, I feel like the last the one you were playing for a hot minute there, Tales of Arise, that looks superior to what I saw in this trailer. And it could be, and this trailer had some hitches. It could just be the trailer. Who knows what it is? It could just be early development. Yeah, it could be early development, but it didn't put a good face forward, and that just left me like, no, I'm good, fam. Yeah. And then finally, we got an extended look at the Victorian-like era action-adventure game called The Little Devil Inside, or just Little Devil Inside, showcasing some gameplay and its intriguing miniature-like world and map. This game has been on my radar since they showed it off in many state of plays back in the day, and they still don't have a release date, which is a little frustrating. But they showed off a little bit more of how the game looks. It is definitely different, and because it's so different, I am in love with it even more. So anyway, those are that and Death's Door were pretty much the standouts for this thing. Everything else for me, I'm sure somewhere someone's pining over Five Nights at Freddy's and the new Bugsnax DLC, but not I, said Mad Dog. Not
sure if it require a state of play.
Exactly. Yeah. I concur. You could have made that a freaking PlayStation blog post, and I'm like, oh hey, by the way, there's an update coming. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I was just being reminded, you mentioned in different trailers, I was just being reminded of the excellent trailer of The Outer Worlds 2.
Oh my God.
Which pretty much sold me on that game. And, I mean, I didn't dislike The Outer Worlds, but I found that it was like, okay, I wasn't like foaming at the mouth for a second one, but just after watching these trailers, it's like, oh yeah, no, I want this. And it was not because they showed like anything, any gameplay spectacular. It was the anti-trailer almost, because it was pretty much making fun of itself. It's so good.
It was really good. It was this is an Xbox exclusive, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And
the bottom.
Yeah. And so, with Xbox money behind it, and now that they're actually owned by Xbox, because this is being done by Obsidian. Yeah, you can definitely. I can almost bet money that Outer Worlds 2 will far surpass Outer Worlds 1. And Outer Worlds 1, for the record, was actually pretty good. But
it was very good.
It was limited by budget.
Yes,
they don't have
definitely
that anymore. So
definitely. Speaking of limited budgets, Activision Blizzard CEO pledges to cut his salary, waive arbitration, In letter to employees, Bobby Kotick has been one of the richest and highest paid CEOs in the U.S. Activision Blizzard's CEO Bobby Kotick, in a letter to employees published Thursday, pledged that major changes are coming to the video game publisher, including a, quote, new zero-tolerance harassment policy, end quote. The waiving of required arbitration for sexual harassment and discrimination claims, and a major pay cut for Bobby Kotick. He's asking Activision Blizzard's board of directors to slash his salary and his overall total compensation to a measly $62,500, which I assume is yearly. Quote, to ensure that every available resource is being used in the service of becoming the industry leader in workplace excellence, end quote. Early this year, Kotick and the companies agreed to have his base pay for 2021 from $1.5 million to $875,000. But Kotick also was awarded nearly $150 million in stock, making his planned total compensation for the year $154.6 million. Now, Kotick says he's asked the company board to keep his compensation at the minimum level allowed by law until the board determined that we have achieved the transformational gender-related goals and other commitments, end quote, described elsewhere in the letter. He told employees that 5 new changes are being implemented at the company, citing the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission's investigation into Activision Blizzard. Public discussion on discrimination and harassment, and employee reports and feedback. I'm not going to read through all of them because it just goes into a lot of detail. But I'm just going to mention them real quick. Yeah. It says we're launching a new zero tolerance harassment policy company-wide is the first one. The second one is we will increase the percentage of women and non-binary people in our workforce by 50%, and we'll invest $250 million to accelerate opportunities for diverse talent. Number 3 is based on feedback from employees. We are waiving required arbitration for sexual harassment and discrimination claims. That was a crazy one. I didn't know that was actually a thing. Number 4, we will continue to increase visibility on pay equity. And number 5, we will provide regular progress updates. In his letter, Kotick again apologized to employees and thanked them for working under undoubtedly difficult conditions, citing the COVID-19 pandemic and sweeping allegations of harassment and discrimination at the company. Quote says, I truly wish not a single employee had an experience at work that resulted in hurt, humiliation, or worse. And to those who were affected, I sincerely apologize, Kotick said. You have my commitment that we will do everything possible to honor our values and create the workplace every member of this team deserves. End quote. And then you guys know the rest. You know, obviously this is coming from that big investigation in July that got out that there was some sketchy work environment at Activision Blizzard, and the reason why they have actually a lot of talent has jumped ship. Basically, a lot of them have been fired, like definitely fired. I take it like, you know, it's I take it that okay, so you're gonna be making basically a regular salaryman salary, which in the state of California is where they're at.
Yeah.
62,000 is 62,000 a year. That's gotta be probably like, well, anyway, I don't know. Anyway,
it's not a lot. I mean,
it's not a lot.
Yeah.
It's not a lot. But then again, you're not giving away money that you have. It's not like, I don't feel sorry in that sense. You know, this, I don't feel sorry in the sense that a millionaire is going to stop, you know, getting millions and millions of dollars, while he's still, a quadrillionaire. So, you know, I can appreciate, however, the fact that if it's true, those funds should be diverted towards all those, you know, all those programs that they're bringing to make, Activision Blizzard, less shitty place to work in, you know? Mm-hmm. So I guess a step in the right direction, but
we can only hope.
Yeah.
My next piece, guys, a major new update has been released for Returnal, which lets players create a save state.
No!
Yes.
You can't do that.
You can.
No, because that actually, you know what? That is damaging the original vision of the developers, and now I want my money back.
Well, fun fact, the original developers made said update. So I think
I guess that's okay then. All right.
I think so.
Okay. So there was nothing wrong with putting an easy mode, huh?
Well, I don't know if it's an easy mode, but
I know. I'm being facetious, obviously. I'm quite happy to see this particular, like,
you may actually go back with this, won't you?
Huh?
Possibly. You may actually go. Well, let me finish the story.
Yeah, I can go back with this one because, go ahead, finish.
The version 2.0 patch, which was released this week, adds a new suspend cycle feature, which lets players pause their cycle and continue it later. This means players can exit the game, turn off their console fully without losing their progress during a session, something that wasn't possible before. In an article on the official PlayStation blog, game director Harry Kruger stressed that the feature is simply a single-use save state rather than a proper save game option. Quote, by suspending the cycle, Returnal will simply create a single-use suspend point. And once you resume playing the suspend point, it is deleted and cannot be used again. Your game will continue directly from that moment where you left it. And if you want to suspend the cycle again, your progress will be captured from a new point onwards, end quote. There are some moments where players will not be able to suspend the cycle, including boss battles. I don't know why you ever want to do that, but boss battles, cinematics, first-person sequences, or intense combat. Quote, with this approach, we can keep the roguelike spirit and high-stakes commitment to your run intact while still providing some quality of life convenience for players who like to experience Returnal in shorter bursts, end quote, Kruger said. So, message heard, they delivered, and from what it sounds like, it's one of those things. I feel like some people are like, well, Jesus, what took them so long to do this, blah, blah, blah. I feel like when they went in with a specific design, and to suddenly, have to create something that had no intention of happening at all. It's like you're creating it from scratch on a game, and I don't know. I just feel like it did take some time. I think they did listen, and I know they were working on something. There were some news I think we brought up at some point where they were looking into how they can implement it.
To be fair, it didn't really took him that long. I wouldn't think that it took him that long.
It just came out this year, didn't it? So it's good.
Yeah. Just a few months back. I do remember actually bringing this up because the idea that like I didn't believe in normal save game section where you can just select and then load. Like I wasn't asking for that because that's not what the game is about. But it makes sense to use. And I remember this because of the DS, fucking Nintendo DS. That's what the DS did with almost every game. It's just
Switch does that.
Make a save. Exactly. Make a save that it can only be used for that one instance, and then fucking delete it and remove it. And somehow people still have problems with that because it was like, oh, well, no, that's not the type of game they're doing. And that'll be, that's not the type of game they're going for. And you can always use the suspend feature that is so fucking reliable.
I'm pretty sure there is still a way of scumming that shit. I mean, I'm sure they're going to figure out a way.
They said how? The thing about it, that you save the game, right? Mm-hmm. The moment you load it, it's gone, and it's gonna load when it starts. How are you gonna be able? When are you gonna be able to save comment?
I don't know. I'm sure.
I mean, it'll literally have to be like hacking the system.
Hacking, yeah. Now that it's in there, yeah.
At that point,
for sure, but.
You might as well give yourself use a game genie. You know, at that point, you're in God mode.
You're right.
It doesn't matter.
If you already hacked it, chances are you already figure out how to do it. So
also, you wouldn't be playing online because you get banned the fuck out by Sony. So that's what I'm saying. It's like,
although it was PC, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but yeah.
The what?
Isn't it
what? Returnal? Returnal?
Yeah.
No.
PC?
No. The moment it gets on PC, that's the moment it's going to get modded to hell. I don't think Returnal is going to be a game that's going to come to PC, to be honest with you. If they want to keep any semblance of...
No, I think it should. I mean, well, recent things obviously point towards they're going to eventually probably bring it when it doesn't matter anymore, but...
it doesn't matter. I love the fact that you're the same wavelength that of that dude that posted like when it really God of War's announced for PC. 3 years late. Good luck. Or
no, it's good for them.
It's like because I guess games expired being good after the first year.
I'm just saying, I don't think that. I don't think that the if they do hack it. Which obviously, if it goes to PC, it's not even an if; it's when they do. When they do hack it, it's going to be one of the things like, hey, you know what? It is. Have at it. You know what I mean? I just feel like it would be much more well received. Not that hacking is well received. You know what I mean?
No, modding is well received. And also, I'll have you know, they are ways of preventing that shit. I mean, remember, we're playing like Dark Souls and stuff like that on PC. Now, granted, I'm not saying all of it is not hacked, but it is just as well prevented. Not as well prevented, but it is as close to as prevented as it is on console. Because on console, you can still hack a console and cheat. I mean, it happens all the time with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So no. Granted, it's gonna be a little bit more complicated. And also, I feel like if anybody wanted to do that to Returnal, then the least thing that they're gonna be worried about is making it so they can save scum their way through. Because at that point, you can actually just give yourself invincibility the whole time.
Yeah, what's that? At that point, dude, I really love that game. I really do. But go ahead.
I know you do.
Your next piece.
I know you do. My next piece. Who told you I had a next piece? I have a next piece. If you want to know that Blizzard keeping it on the gravy train of Activision. Blizzard canceled their BlizzCon event this year, their online BlizzCon event this year. But that's not. I mean, we already knew about that because of course they're not gonna bring one of the events that was pivotal on the findings of the skisi, what they call it, the Cosby room.
Oh God, the Cosby.
You remember that?
The sad part is, I don't even think they meant the same thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, they totally fucking meant it.
Se jodieron ahora. If it's like, no, now we know what you mean. Even if they never, even if you have, well, let's be real. Maybe a few may have known, but the rest of them were like, "Oh, that's hilarious!"
Dude, it was a fucking. I mean, that was around the time that was already past the allegations of rape.
Was it?
So of course, yes. No,
that was older.
No. That happened.
No.
That happened 2013. 2013. The BlizzCon 2013 was the one that they famously had those pictures and the thing Cosby and that was the picture with. Yes, the Bill Cosby thing was a while back. Check it out. Look it up.
I believe you.
Or it might have been early 2013. Maybe
right
that
around
year.
the time. I guess that would have make sense because it's news at that point. So
yeah. Well, here's some news. I'm going to close with this one. Sony has now sold 13.4 million PlayStation 5 consoles to the bewilderness of those people that can't still seem to find a fucking single one. Probably because Walmart is hogging all of them for the holidays. Who knows? Sony's latest financial reports have announced that 13.4 million PlayStation 5 consoles have been sold to date, with 3.3 million PS5 being sold within July to September second quarter period. As revealed in Sony's financial results Q2, the company's game network service segment sold 1 million more PS5 to retailers in the quarter when compared to previous three month period. This is the second highest quarterly sales of the PlayStation 5, matching fourth quarter of 2020, and only trailing behind third quarter of 2020's record 4.5 million sales. These sales contributed to the total of 5.86 billion in revenue for Sony's gaming division, up 27 year to year for the best Q2 PlayStation has ever achieved. I'm not going to continue reading, and this is not CNBC or Money Talk or anything like that. This is just to say, hey, PlayStation 5. Turns out, newsworthy, by the way, they're still selling.
They're still
Back
selling.
to you.
People are finding it somehow. I'm not entirely sure, but
Not entirely sure how they're being delivered. They're probably being delivered to the mafia, maybe, or
possibly. Maybe. Or, what do you call it? I was going to say scammers. The scalpers.
The scalpers.
Yeah. They're still buying them up.
They're still
and people are
scammers,
buying them at this point. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to wait? You can wait until they're available, or just pay an extra $100. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
Yeah. My next piece, Nintendo has been receiving criticism from a number of players for the quality of its Nintendo 64 emulation on Nintendo Switch Online.
No.
Yes. The Nintendo expansion pack. Well, let's see. The new expansion pack for Switch Online is now active, bringing a selection of Nintendo 64 and Sega Mega Drive Genesis games to the Switch for an extra fee. However, players have started raising issues with some of the Nintendo 64 app features or lack thereof. One of the most common complaints is the app's button mapping, which maps the C buttons to the right stick and the Z button to the ZL and the B and A buttons to the Switch's own B and A buttons. While the latter seems reasonable on paper, the Switch's B and A buttons are positioned at a different angle than those that were on the Nintendo 64, meaning for some players the ability to map them to Y or B would have been more authentic of the original controller. This is something Nintendo could theoretically fix in the future with a patch enabling players to remap their buttons, assuming they're interested in buying. They aren't interested in buying the separate Nintendo 64 controller that Nintendo is, of course, selling, which will have them map perfectly there, to mind you. So,
for real,
yeah. So some of the other problems are technical ones. Some of the games have a noticeable audio delay, meaning that the sound is heard a split second after the action, while others have graphical issues such as The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time inability to properly handle fog in certain areas. Another issue receiving complaints is the app's apparent lack of support for the controller pack, the Nintendo 64 memory card. This was placed in the slot at the back of the controller so players can save game data and titles that didn't save directly to the cartridge. I gotta say that one's a little bit of a nitpick.
Considering
there's a
that
suspend point, so it's you know what I mean. So, although most of the games on the Nintendo 64 at launch were those that saved onto the cartridge, went back instead saved onto the controller pack, meaning players wishing to save their game will have to create a save state instead, which is what we just mentioned. Mario Kart 64 also saved ghost data on the controller pack, meaning there's no option to save your ghost data on the Switch online versions. I'm going to leave the article here and just say I didn't expect much from this. I feel like there's people who were expecting a lot more. This is Nintendo. You weren't gonna get all the bells and whistles when it came to this. I mean, I'm gonna be fair. I don't know what the updated price is. I should probably look that up here. Let me see.
The updated price for
the Switch Online, for the expansion pack, because that's what they're calling it.
It was. I remember. We didn't report on that. Like, it was something kind of ridiculous. It's like, are you serious?
Let me see here.
Look at
$20. It's $20 online right now for the regular, which I've already paid for.
Right.
Let's see. Individual membership, family membership. Nope. What the hell? Expansion.
Just what Nintendo? Okay, so Nintendo.
Here it goes. Online. It doesn't say a price. What the hell? 12 months, $50. Okay.
$50 on top of the $20.
I think it's no, because it's a Switch Online plus the expansion pack. So instead of 20, it's 50. So that's not horrible.
Expansion pack. I don't know. It was getting like destroyed on NeoGAF. So I was like, "Are you serious?"
Don't get me wrong. Keep in mind, this is more than double the existing one, and the existing one already, now you're throwing on top of that Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis and Master System games, and you have all these issues, and so it's like, I can see that. Yeah, it says get everything on the Nintendo Switch Online plus the expansion pack for one Nintendo account user, $49.99. A family membership is $79.99. So that will be a group of up to 8 account holders. $80 a year. So
that doesn't.
20, sir. I'm sticking with the 20.
That's because that sounds a little pricey for what it is.
I think it's more than a little.
I don't have anything else, sir. So,
okay.
So you have news. I'm like,
I do. Yeah,
I don't know when they're appearing.
Okay, so I'm gonna rapid fire these. This is kind of exciting. I like rapid firing stuff here. Let's throw this out here.
You gotta go fast. You like going fast.
We're gonna do. Oh no, we're not doing Sonic the Hedgehog. Fuck that. All right, so we're gonna start from the top. Tomb Raider is 25 years old this week, people. The October 25th. If you don't know, October 25th. Tomb Raider series is officially 25 years old as of that day. Although the Adventures of Lara Croft didn't begin on PlayStation or PC, the formats she was most commonly associated with, until mid-November, it was October 25th, 1996, when she first stepped foot into games on Gaming Soul. On that day, the first Tomb Raider was released on the Sega Saturn in Europe, roughly a month before it came to all of the formats. Sir, that's a little bit of trivia that I did not know. Just throwing that out there. I would never have guessed that the first place you can play Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, the original, would have been on the Sega Saturn in Europe.
I did not know that either.
That's some serious stuff. So Lara Croft, of course, has gone through many changes, and most recently had her trilogy of a reboot, which is excellent, mind you, for the record, if you haven't played it. Next rapid fire, guys. Apple Music has launched today, as far as this article, which was on the 27th, on PlayStation 5. Sony's system is the first games console to offer an integrated Apple Music experience, giving subscribers access to over 90 million songs, personalized and curated playlists, 4K music videos, and Apple Music Radio. Good stuff. And then finally, my last little tidbit and a rapid fire, Ubisoft has confirmed on October 19th, VGC reported that according to sources, Ubisoft greenlit a new Splinter Cell game. And according to GamesBeat journalist Jeff Grubb, in the weeks before E3 2021, Ubisoft had fans play the upcoming Prince of Persia and Sands of Time remake and something that had the appearance of a Splinter Cell prototype. He said, quote, the testers did not spend a lot of time with the Splinter Cell game. Ubisoft provided a vertical slice that was just a basic tutorial section. But this version of the game combined familiar Splinter Cell action with similar elements of the 2016 Hitman reboot.
Interesting.
While this doesn't confirm that the game is the same project as VGC reported on, it could further indicate that Ubisoft is keen to return to the world of Splinter Cell and, of course, include elements of the famed Hitman series at this point. So
they should just do it. People have been clamoring for this. We don't want the same, Sam Fish. Just reboot him. Like, who cares? He doesn't have to be Ironhide, whoever it was that was voicing him.
Michael Ironside. Yeah. At this point, he's just his voice is too much. I'm not going to call him druggy, but too much smoking and drinking, and suddenly he just sounds the same. So start from the beginning, use somebody else. Yeah. A new voice. Why not? Use a new voice. Why does it have
it's going to be a different one. It's a total, it worked for Lara.
I agree. It does work for Lara. And she's still nailing it. So, sir, that is one last piece. Oh, snap.
What? Breaking news?
The Raid's Eco Uwais.
What the hell language is that? You lost me there, sir.
Okay. The Raids is actually English. The Raids, as in raid, as in the spray of the cockroach spray. Raids. The Raid is a film. Very good film. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It's an excellent martial arts film. The Raids, Iko Uwais is the actor, the martial artist and actor who played in the film, will play the villain in the upcoming Expendables 4 because for some reason they feel the need to continue this series.
This is going to be the new Fast and the Furious, huh?
I hope not. That's all I can say.
No, because this actor's not going to be too old at some point.
I mean, they're going to die off. Let's be real. They're going to die off.
Yeah, let's be real. Yeah.
That is all we have from the news, guys. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with our hot topic. Welcome back, guys. Yes, you just heard us talk about phones, several phones, but that's not what the hot topic is. The hot topic, ladies and gentlemen, is about the year one report card for Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. Sir, we're going to sit here and we're going to, briefly discuss.
Deliberate. We're going to call it. We're going to call it. The first year is the one where we seal up who the champion of the console war is for the entire generation, right? That's how it works.
I
mean, that's how it works for the 360.
But we can make it that way. I don't care. I'm not gonna argue with you. It's like, sure. Yeah.
That's what happened to the 360, right?
Because to be fair, as a PlayStation guy, I'm going to say, with a very high register, that, I think we're kind of ahead. I'm just going to throw that out there. Just to throw that out there. Just a little bit, sprinkles here and there, No.
So that's how we're going to play it.
Well, I don't want to play that. To be fair, I do not want to play it that way. And no, to be fair, also, I think it's pretty obvious that the Xbox Series X or Microsoft in general has been making major strides. Now, I would argue that in year one, we haven't seen any of the fruits of these strides that they have done. However, they are primed. I think that's what, the year one of Xbox in this generation is. They are primed to really blow people out of the water in year 2, 3, and beyond. And I think you can agree with that based on, one, the acquisitions, and two, what we have seen so far in some of their events, and even with first party stuff, like true first party stuff, not new first party stuff. Like for instance, Halo Infinite, which I have not played. I have seen, and I understand what is the hook to that, but I think we can all agree that Halo has returned in essence, from a lot of what I think there
It was
has been,
lost. It
yeah, a
was
little lost with
definitely
4 and
lost.
5. Yeah, exactly. So I
And
feel like I think the 343 has finally understood what
mm,
is a Halo game, what people want from a Halo game. It does not need to be it doesn't need to be the next gen like gem piece where it's like, holy crap, the graphics that's not what Halo was. You know what I mean? Yes, it was graphically great, but in the end, what made it last, what makes it so that people are still playing Halo 2 till today is not those graphics.
no.
It's the gameplay behind it. And I think they understood that for this one. So I feel like they have a good future on them. But anyway, we're gonna talk about their year one and both year one. So I don't know if you want to start or I can start. Whatever you want to do, sir. Let me know.
No, I mean it. Year one for Xbox versus PlayStation have been very simple. PlayStation has hit the ground running. Xbox is right now it's buying the running gear to get ready to then.
They're just heading to the race. Okay.
Yeah, no, they're still buying the gear, but believe me, once they have everything, now they gotta show that gear actually makes an impact.
Agreed.
So it's not it's not like assurance or anything like that. But I think in general, this is probably one of the most interesting, I guess, face-offs if you want to have the console war mentality. But but more like this is a very interesting generation in the sense that we have two consoles that are like incredibly powerful, incredibly ahead of their the offerings, and each of them have particular distinctions that make them unique to their platform. Obviously, at the bottom, at the end of it all, it's gotta be the fucking games.
Yeah,
exactly. Fucking games are gonna be the ones that win. So,
because that's where they make their money. Let's be honest,
right?
But
that's what matters to gamers. Gimmicks. People don't care about the gimmicks. People care about it's this fun to play. So, Agreed. And I want to make a pause too. Obviously, we didn't discuss and we omitted Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch is the current generation of Nintendo. The only reason we're not mentioning it is because we still appreciate what Nintendo brings. Nintendo is on a class of its own.
Yeah, that's why.
So
we
didn't like want to include it here.
True. I feel like they're doing their own thing.
Yes.
And I'm not trying to belittle or diminish what they're doing. They are literally doing their own thing. They're not even comparing themselves.
No.
To the
intentionally, they're not. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they have their own thing, and it has been working very well for them. So
correct. Their Switches are still flying off the shelves. The tech is a little older, and it makes it easier for them to still continue to manufacture and whatever. So, but the reality is, they're still doing fine. It has nothing to do with that. But when I really, really think of next gen, I don't think of Switch. Switch is a middle. I don't know, a middle child or a stopgap in between.
No, I want to say. Okay. On that context, yeah,
between major generational leaps is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
They're like right in the middle. They tend to be, it's amazing some of the stuff that you can see that is getting onto the Switch. It's amazing. Oh shit! Now it is taking some graphical hits, but the reality is they're still running well. But that kind of lets you know where they're at. And now, honestly, now that we have moved on to PlayStation 5 and to Xbox Series X, it's like, now it really shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just what it is. They fit in that middle area, and they're doing their own thing. Really, they're making their console for their first party, and their first party sells buttloads. I mean, it is, so it's like, it's the anomaly. Nintendo continues to be that anomaly where you're like, I don't know how they do it, but they do it on their own. But the rest of the world is still when they look at video games, they still look at PlayStation, they still look at Xbox, and that's why we're focusing more on those two. So I appreciate that. I understand what you mean, but the reason we aren't including them it's just their league of their own. I mean, essentially.
You want to talk about anomalies? How about the fact that we are having this two crazy consoles that everybody wants in the middle of a chip shortage, a raging pandemic, and a global supply constraint, which has made it very difficult to get and more desirable because people have been kind of focusing a little bit more on indoor entertainment, or maybe hopefully they start going out now, but we also have new technologies. Ray tracing has been introduced on these consoles, and I don't doubt that AI assisted resolution it's going to be like right behind. There's no reason for these consoles not to be able to take advantage of something like that, considering the architectures that each of them are. Both of them are the same, but almost the same architecture to speak of. Almost the same, very similar chip design. So from the same supplier.
They're not too far from it, yeah.
So,
but it's funny you bring that up, and since you mentioned ray tracing, I feel like I'm gonna throw this in right now since we're already on said topic, and that is both consoles. I think were early on, touting how consoles will deliver ray tracing. Both consoles have said this, and not that both haven't; they have. But in year one, can we really say they have? Right? We look at what has had it realistically and what hasn't. So we look at Sony. These are the confirmed, that have Astro's Playroom, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Deathloop, and both of the Spider-Man games, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and of course the re-release Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man. And then you have on the Xbox side Call of the Sea, Enlisted, Gears 5, and the Medium. So I feel like they haven't 100% delivered that. No. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry. I don't want to forget these. You have, of course, your third parties who have been able to do that. Doom Eternal, Watch Dogs Legions, Control, the Ultimate Edition, Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, Devil May Cry 5, the Special Edition, for whatever reason, Maneater, and Resident Evil Village. So those are third parties who also have been able to do it. But is this enough? Do you feel that this fulfilled the promise? What's delaying that every game should be able to at least have some sort of, I mean, that's not 16-bit, or 18, 32-bit, not some whatever, but anything that obviously includes the graphics that would have some sort of ray tracing, you figure at this point, why is it not including it? What do you think? What's the delay here?
I think this reminds me of the first generation ray tracing games on PC when the first NVIDIA RTX cards were getting released. The 20 series, the 2080s, 2070s, and you got those games that will claim to have it in a way, and yes, you could see it if you were okay with taking a massive hit on performance, which, let's face it, no one wants to play like that. So, but just like it always happens, as developers get more comfortable with the technologies and new stuff gets made, and they introduce the assisted AI assisted, resolution scaling and stuff like that. I feel like we're not there yet, but these consoles are capable of delivering, of bringing, proper ray tracing in the near future. The major, if anything, the major, and I can't stress this enough, major achievement, compliment, the best thing that they could have brought to that these consoles could have actually brought to gaming in general, I would say, is the recognition that 60 frames per second is the way that you should be playing your games.
Oh my God, I cannot agree more. I have always said that as a console gamer, it has never been about. It's been about the actual game versus anything else. 30 frames was always just fine as long as it's just, as long as we can lock it at 30. We're okay with anything else behind that. But the reality is, once you have, once you get the taste of the spice melange, if you will, you go, well, we can't go back now, right? We can't go back. And the reality is that the majority of everything that has come into this new generation is, yes, it's at there's an opportunity to play this game at a solid lock 60, and that has become the norm, which is great, because once it becomes the norm, it's like, well, now that's the norm. So anything else that falls short of this,
it's gonna look ancient.
It's gonna, oh my God, it's gonna look horrible. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it has the prettiest graphics.
Correct. Yeah.
It's gonna be hit with but it doesn't have
but you're not at 60
performance mode.
Exactly. Yeah. It doesn't have it should have a performance mode, and we can deal with 1080. 1080 is still beautiful. No, don't get me wrong. It's one of the things where you go with 4K was always that weird thing where you just go, well, 4K is great, but 1080 wasn't horrible. It's like 4K is like this nice little, hey, this special bump to whatever. And it's like, it's good that you can get there, but 1080 was still great when you had it really, really well done. And when it came to gaming, 1080 at 1060, at 60 frames a second is like, that's great,
Yeah.
And I think that this generation has, I agree 100% with you, that this generation has shined the light and in itself championed that 60 frames is the minimum, and it should always be the minimum. And honestly, it's just to be the standard, not even the minimum. It's just to be the standard, because the reality is, sure, you can go higher than that, but diminishing returns the higher you go, right? Yeah. So this should just be the standard. Every game should come out at this point.
This was the promise of since the original Xbox, since I played Ninja Gaiden on it. Yes. That was a promise, that was one of this, that 60 frames per second was and then everybody started focusing on just making better looking screenshots, basically, because that's what sells. And I feel like now, every game has that performance mode, and I don't mind there are some purists, there's some people that will prefer the higher graphics, having more ray trace graphics and high end looking, high resolution, looking images and all that. And they don't mind the 30. That's perfect. You know what I love? That we have the fucking option to do so. Because I have always said it. There's nothing wrong with having the option. And at least, you know what? They haven't made it obtuse like on PC. On PC, you get all these things and checkboxes and dials and sliders and all that crap. Low, medium, high, ultra high, whatever. You get all those options, but it's difficult locking it to where it'll be considered perfect. Well, you don't have to worry about that on the console. On the console, the developers have already made that choice for you. It's either like, do you want a 30? Do you want a 60? On a good implementation, because there have been some shoddy implementations of, some shoddy performance modes, out there. But for the most part, this is the biggest gift that we have gotten.
I agree. And I think I would agree that both Xbox and PlayStation have delivered in that sense. And obviously the specs and the tech speak for itself. It's one of those things like, well, of course they deliver because the tech, it makes it easy to deliver that. Yeah. So it's great that they were able to circle around that. And I give them both credit for coming out on this particular generation saying, you know what? this tech is not going to be cheap like it was last gen.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. And they both stuck to their guns, both hit the $500 point, and frankly, it was worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I give them both credit for that. Yeah. I think that they have overall delivered, and then with Xbox particularly because their backwards compatibility has brought a lot of their older library over, and now have upgraded everything. I got to tell you,
auto HDR, variable refresh. Yeah.
I got to tell you, there was a funny thing that happened very early on before both consoles, I think, were even launched, and that was a smart delivery. And I will say, I have to give credit to Xbox, Microsoft, in the fact that smart delivery was one of the things like, well, what the hell? It was like we looked at it and said, well, that sounds like such a gimmick. Like it's almost like blast processing. It's like, well, so you're saying it should just automatically upgrade to? Of course. Well, why wouldn't that be a thing? It sounds like whatever. And then Sony comes in and introduces their freaking smart delivery, because they don't have a smart delivery, and it's like, in some cases, it's at this point it's fucking Pony Express. It's like as some of the stuff automatically updates, others done. Then you have to go through. You got to jump through loops to fucking upgrade. It's like
or pay
suddenly Suddenly the smart delivery was like, oh, I get it now. Because before we understood what they were meant, it's like, well, obviously, why wouldn't this work? And then Sony proved why it doesn't work all the time. It's like, Marco's like, see? And Marco was like, yeah, this is what we were talking about. And when you make it easy, shit just works.
So to clarify, because I feel like smart delivery is the idea of you buy a game, and your version, of the game will upgrade to the next one, without you buy the Xbox version. You're not buying just the Xbox One version alone. Yeah. If it's a game that is cross gen, you buy it once and you get all the versions, basically.
Pretty much. And
the
system completely recognizes that you are playing now on a Xbox Series X, for instance.
And therefore would not try to serve you the
correct. It's not going to give you now. I can't tell you how many reports there were of people thinking they were playing the PlayStation 5 version of Miles Morales, and they were not. They were playing the PlayStation 4. Why? Because smart delivery doesn't exist on PlayStation 5, and it just. I don't know. They just said, well, you selected PlayStation 4. And it's like, yeah, but I'm using a PlayStation 5. Can you not assume what version I want to play?
Even worse, buy the wrong version. That was actually reports. They'll buy the wrong version because it wasn't very clear. Now, on this latest update, they have a pretty decent way of letting you know which version you have. They actually put it like, front and center there. So
that's very recent. So let's be real. We've spent most of the year not, although to be honest with you, I have been very vigilant because I just say, what version is this that I'm downloading? Because that's the other thing. You can download both by accident going, I don't need both. I just need the one. I just need the one. And that's, oh dude, that's such a horrible mess up. I honestly, I will. That's a strike against Sony for their first year. It
doesn't take away from the fact that I had to spend $30 to get the upgraded version of Ghost of Tsushima. A game that I liked. I did not love, but I liked. But I wanted to, and I still have yet to play that fucking expansion, by the way. I just basically bought it. I basically bought it to play the Legends mode, which was really cool playing it with you guys. But
actually, that was cool,
but when you play the PlayStation 4 version of it, like you don't need, like, unless you're looking for the expansion, whatever. I'll say this. I don't think it's bad. What the idea of Sony at least charging like $10 more for the upgrade, like I will accept that.
Oh,
I know some people
if it's
might
worth it. I would accept it too. Yeah.
Yeah. $10. It's not much. We know that there is it's not fucking smart delivery. We got it, but since we're not gonna get smart delivery, and at least I don't have to worry about spending $30 on the upgrade. If I can spend 10, then I'm cool with that because it gives me the option. Again, it just gives me the option. If I don't want to do it, then I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. The other thing, or I don't know how you like to do this proper. I have like 5 or 6 points on each console. I feel like maybe I should focus on the, like, we should just throw in like something, like you should say something about PlayStation and I'll give you the Xbox alternative if he has one, or vice versa if you want to be contrarian. Sure. But and there are gonna be some things that we miss, so we can just jump in and mention them. I don't know if you want to do it that way or whichever way you have planned is fine.
Go. Yeah, I'm go either way.
Okay. So I was thinking of I don't own an Xbox Series X myself. I want to, but I own a PC, so I'm be playing those games there normally. So that's the only reason I haven't really like super jumped on it. However, I will recognize features that I think are pretty cool based on the experience of the people that have the consoles that they have mentioned them. One of the particular features that the Xbox Series X has delivered in consoles for the first time is the idea of quick resume. Which is, it's literally like you need to go to bed. You just, turn, not even that, not even just turning your console, cause you can do the same thing on Sony's platform. You can put it to sleep. It doesn't matter. But you need to, if you want to jump to a different, title and you're in the middle of this one, you can just kind of like suspend your game, go to the other title, play the other title, or I don't know, check YouTube, like whatever you want to do with it. Go back to it and continue right where you left off, which it's going to work. I will say on the majority of games that don't depend that don't have an online component, obviously, like you wouldn't do that in Destiny, for example. But I'm still not a fan of the fact that on PlayStation 5, if I'm playing something and I want to jump and open it, let's see, I want to send you something, I want to edit it, and I open the application for it, I'm afraid that the application is just going to close my game, because now it doesn't even tell you, hey, this might close your game, or something. Now it just straight out cuts you off the game with no warning or anything like that. And I feel like this is something that, it's not a patent design or anything like that. Sony could implement something similar, now if they want it. So I'm hopeful that we might get something like that, because the rumination from what I've heard of people that have that is that is actually a feature that they didn't. It was like smart delivery. They didn't think that much of it when they heard about it, but once they see it in action, they're like, "Oh yes, this is actually really cool."
Yeah, I guess what I can bring that would sort of compete with that, which actually would figure the same way, and that would be the DualSense. I think
yes.
we both at the time when we heard DualSense, we're like, DualSense, come on, dude. What are you doing?
You're doing a DualSense again.
Exactly. What are we doing here? Why not make a dual whatever? The name was a little bit off and whatever. Then we get the DualSense. Then we understand what this DualSense does. And it is one of those things that in many ways can change your gaming experience. I'm just going to go to, Returnal as a perfect example. And there's a few, whatever you can pick whatever, but I'm going to use that as a perfect example. That game was, to me, transcending. It just it immediately put me there. With obviously the most obvious thing right off the bat is the little droplets of rain that you can feel your controller. It literally feels like droplets of rains are falling on your controller.
Yes,
and you're feeling the vibrations of it, and it's that light where it goes. It's not a vibration. It's just there's little droplets, and you're like, because your character is standing in the rain at the moment, and it's just like it doesn't seem like something that matters, and then you go. And it's one of those things you don't know that you want it until you have it. And you go, yes, I want this all the time. The adaptive triggers, I was like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. Then you hold it, you use it, and you go, this is
game changing.
It's like literally put your triggers are now like 2 buttons each one, right? Because they have different whatever. And then you just go on and on with what you can with the DualSense.
Let me put it the adaptive trigger. Let me mention something about it to put it in perspective. The crazy $150 Xbox Elite controller where you can adjust the triggers. Well, on the DualSense, on the regular ass DualSense, the game can control the trigger for you and tell you how far you can really press on it, how far you should press, or it makes your triggers have like steps. Yeah. Almost where a half press might do something and then a full press might do something else, and you can feel it. Yeah.
You can literally, you go to press it and you have a hard stop halfway. You're like, whoa, what's happening here? But you can see what the half press would do in the game. You go, oh, it's one of those things where I was always one of those that used, a game manual, right? I used to love game manual. I still do, frankly. I miss them. But the game manual that would come with the game, right? And you would go in and, okay, this is what this does, the X button, whatever it does, whatever. And I was always one who studied that. The DualSense literally removes the need for that because you can literally figure out what it is, everything that does, the control scheme is just by using it, because you're literally sensing what it does, and it goes, oh, okay, this makes sense. And it is the game changer so far. That's all I'm going to say. The game changer so far. I'm sure there's more to come. From both sides, I'm sure there's more to come. But honestly, and the reality is, it's like if I were Sony, I would be like, everyone, I need you to use this. If you want to put some shit on our fucking console, I need you to use this to its full extent. They don't do it because I get it. They're third party. They don't have to. They have plenty.
Oh, they don't want to. Yeah, they don't want to
burn roads and shit like that. But it's like, look, you don't have to do everything, but throw a few things in, because
I don't want to half-ass it though either. It had to be like a commitment, like fucking Ghost of Tsushima, the PlayStation 5 version of it, or even better, Astro's Playground, which is the perfect demo of that.
It is literally the demo of that. Yeah.
I would say this about the DualSense, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of the Xbox Series controller. I even had a customized colored version for me, which I'm still waiting. Like, Sony, like, come on, like, why aren't you doing that? Like, steal if you want to steal an idea. Customized gamepad. Hello. I like the feel and the grip and the fact that I'm always being a bigger fan of the isometric, thumbsticks, than the symmetric thumbsticks of the DualShock controllers. Now, the DualSense, I don't have that much problem because they are like further apart. So it doesn't feel that, that like I could live with that. If you give me like the incredible sensory overload that you give me with some games, as far as immersion, because you're not doing rumble, you're doing not even HD rumble like Nintendo try to coin. You're doing like actual like sensing, like you're letting me sense the game through my gamepad in a way that we have been pursuing for years. The perfect controller. This is the closest that we have gotten.
Yeah.
I
would definitely agree. The only thing missing from the DualSense, and I will only say this because I have heard this. I haven't tried it, and I don't know. And that is, of
Metric
course,
6?
the
No, I'm
the,
kidding.
the pressure pads in the back. And what do they call those? They're usually something you can put in the back where you can they're almost like triggers, but they're not triggers, and they sit in the back.
You put it on the back, but you can't do that on the Xbox one. I mean, unless it's the Elite.
That's what I'm talking about. The Elite. That's the only thing that the DualSense.
Yeah, but I feel like that's more like eSport. That would be more like a specialized controller. Like Sony has a specialized controller of that.
Well,
they do. It's just they don't make it themselves. It's a third party that does it. But yeah, no, I wouldn't want to risk. This thing is also beautiful to look at. Again, this is yes. It's just it's a piece of art made there. Yeah. The Xbox controller it's nice in its minimalistic way. Like they actually, I can appreciate the fact that they toned down a little bit of like the curves and the dimples and stuff like that, and they made it a little bit more flat. Mm-hmm. Like I like that design, and I like the grippiness. The grippiness on this is awesome. But the sensing when playing PlayStation games with the DualSense, obviously, it's like nothing out there. As far as the controllers, you nailed it. This is by far.
This is where at this point I would argue that this is really where the Sony, like, you know, that's the selling point so far in year one. I don't think ray tracing is prominent on either. It was something that they both, touted, but I think you could agree with this. I think that the fact that we have, a pandemic still rolling, you still have this cross-generational thing where it's like we're not going to let go of last gen on both sides. That is also holding them back from going full ray tracing when it's available for them. So I do agree, or rather I should say, I do think that ray tracing was something that both of them brought to the plate and say, oh, this is going to be this is a new thing, whatever.
It's not yet, but it's happening.
It is happening, and there are games that show it and then have it. But at the same time, I don't think either of them are flaunting it, because the reality is not everybody can access it. And oh, by the way, good luck trying to find a new console at this point. With the strain when it comes to the three pieces. Right. But overall, sir, I don't know if you want to go ahead and grade. I still say we're going by the.
There's still quite a few things that we haven't talked about.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
If you want me to go, over them real quick, not to overextend ourselves, but I was going to say the technologies on Xbox, like the auto HDR and the variable refresh rates.
Okay.
They're important. Those are things that, especially the variable refresh rate, because the benefit of variable refresh rate is that on those dips of, if you have a variable refresh rate TV, on those dips where the frame rate kind of takes a hit and goes below 60, it gets to 45 or something like that. It helps you not notice those. because the screen actually refreshes at the same time that at the same frame rate. So it still feels like, this hasn't slowed down, Now, granted, it gets to a point where it's no longer going to fool you. But in the meantime, if it hit in 50s or 45, so like that, which is usually where it drops down, that helps tremendously on the how you perceive your games to be performing. Auto HDR. I'm not particularly hot or cold on it. I think it's a neat idea. I just don't know. I will always be afraid that it's going to be actually messing up the colors, that the colors are not going to be shown as intended, just because you want to assume that adding HDR to a game that was not designed for HDR at first will make it look better. And my eyes are not going to be able to discern that. So I'm never going to be able to know, unless it's very obvious. My eyes are not going to be able to discern, this looks like crap, or this is not the colors that it was intended to be. And I don't like that. So unless we start getting a list of, auto HDR, tuned or whatever, I don't care for that feature that much. Now, PlayStation 5, we mentioned already DualSense being incredible. Another thing that I feel like it's incredible, obviously, which I don't know why neither one of us brought it out of the first and foremost, is the exclusives.
Oh, well, sure.
The exclusive.
I was trying to dance around it.
Oh no!
Well,
the exclusive, like we said at the beginning, Microsoft is building up their stable of, and they have already shown, or at least give us a taste of what's coming in the future. But if we're waiting for year one, I'm sorry, but year one, there is a couple of things here and there that interest me, but nothing that I am super excited. Maybe Forza Horizon 5 for sure. Forza Horizon 5.
Well, Forza Horizon, and then let's be real. At this point, although technically it's right outside of year one, but Halo, it's literally right outside of. That's the whole deal.
Right.
Forza and Halo, they're not in year one. And the reality is, what is in year one for Xbox? Oh, by the way, Halo was supposed to be in year one, right? It was originally meant for last fall, and it missed said point. So
I'm gonna play it loose, though. I'm gonna play a little loose. I'm not gonna set a date, because this is not like an official shit or anything like that. This is just us. No, for sure. But yeah, if Halo showed very well, but that's still we'll see, because I need to play that campaign to know how I feel about it. And that's just me personally. Some people don't even care, because they just want to play the multiplayer. And the multiplayer, it looks fucking amazing. But guess what? It's also free to play, so don't worry about it.
Sure. Yeah.
Forza Horizon is the one.
Doesn't matter.
The PlayStation, from day one, they deliver amazing games already right off the bat, with their launch title. So, and they haven't stopped. So far, they could stop releasing anything, for the year, and they will still destroy this year. They have very good titles, on the stable for year one. So and that is the one that matters the most, minor things. I have learned to actually like PlayStation 5's NVMe storage solution, even though it was actually a little bit of confusion at the beginning of how everything's working, how everything was going to work out. And I feel like releasing that beta maybe didn't help as much as Sony was hoping. The perception of, this is just a fucking nightmare. You're still not convinced that you ever want to do that, because you don't even want to open your PlayStation 5, because you're thinking, you're probably thinking that I don't know if I open this shit, it's probably gonna like this is opening my PlayStation. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
You're not thinking you're gonna avoid the warranty. You're thinking more like
I don't fuck shit up. Yeah.
I don't want to fuck shit up. I have actually played with it for a little bit. I recently changed the NVMe that I originally put on it and put another one that had its own heatsink and it was like, I don't know, it was rated a little better, but the difference was negligible. I mean, I haven't fucking noticed the difference, so it doesn't matter because you can't benchmark really on consoles, but it has worked very well. And a lot of it's exactly what you mentioned that was going to happen. The companies, the storage companies are going to realize that market of PS5, obviously, and they're actually going to market their NVMEs as, by the way, this is compatible with PS5. And I'm seeing that fucking everywhere. Every company, NVMe company has come out with the heatsink, with the NVMe with the heatsink, which is for PCs, but it's compatible with PS5 because the heatsink is not some insane thing, So that's really cool. And it gives me the option of shopping around for different prices versus Xbox. Xbox has a easy solution, and it has had it from the very beginning. Pay $200 for a terabyte, and it's never going to go down in price. It's going to be always $200. Or whatever it is, 230, whatever it is. I don't remember. And never gonna go down in price because it's proprietary. So yeah, and it looks simpler. It's literally just like you were putting your memory cards on your PlayStation 1 and 2 back in the day. That's how easy you insert it. But true. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just plug it in and it works, and that's awesome. But and NVMe, I don't know. It gives me
what you're saying. Yeah, we moved past that at this point.
I feel like at this point, like there's no reason for anybody, you included, Mad Dog. If you feel like at some point this is not a difficult thing to do, you don't have to worry anymore about I need to buy I need to buy a heatsink. I need to know what heatsink size or anything like that. Well, yeah, if you buy a separate NVMe that doesn't have a heatsink, then yeah, you are going to need a heatsink. But just buy it with the heatsink and save yourself the trouble. They're selling it now. They're coming out. Every company has it. So again, very, super great. What was the other thing? Xbox Series S. Let's not forget. We're going to talk about godlike features. Well, guess what? Game Pass is the godlike feature of Xbox Series X. and I'll say it, even though it's a service that you have to pay, but the amount of money that you're paying right now, at least, it's nothing compared to the amount of content that you are getting. I'm getting games that I didn't realize that I have access. Hell, that's how I discovered that I could play Back 4 Blood, a game that I would have otherwise had to pay $40, to play. Age of Empires just got released. Age of Empires 4. I can play that right now, and this is the PC selection, which is a lot smaller.
You're playing this on the PC, so here lies here's the retort, simple, for that. And that is, yeah, you're right. That's a great value, but you don't need an Xbox Series X for that.
But that's okay. But we're not talking about benefits of PC versus.
I'm saying that yes, we are. But
if I want to play PlayStation 5 games, also I don't need a PlayStation. Evidently, now it's gonna come to consoles. There, I did exactly what you told me I was gonna do.
No, but what I'm referring to is like you don't have. If you're an Xbox player, you don't have to upgrade to Xbox Series X to get Game Pass and everything Game Pass has. So you can still stay within that ecosystem and still enjoy everything Game Pass is offering you, which is good, right? Because it is offering a lot. But we're grading the new console, and if we're graded by the new console, you go, well, this new console is in this sense giving you what the old console is still giving. So is it really that big of a, is there a leap here? Because you don't really have to jump forward.
You're arguing for Game Pass not being an incredible value for
I'm saying
for
it
Xbox?
is an incredible. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it is an incredible value, and it is, and there's no argument behind that. There's no argument behind it. It's such an incredible value that I still argue that Microsoft is losing money on it. That's how much of an incredible value it is. What I'm saying is we are grading the next gen consoles and the benefits that everything comes with it. That that obviously stretch behind that, but it's like, well, you don't really need a next gen console to have Game Pass and everything that Game Pass.
Well, you need it if you want to play PlayStation. Xbox Series X games. You need Game Pass.
No, because every Xbox Series X game is playable on Xbox 360.
So on Xbox 360 or Xbox X?
Yeah, so Series X. Yeah,
right. But if you want to play, if you want to play if you want to, because there's gonna be differences.
Sure,
right?
There is, but the reality is you can still access these games and play these games regardless without ever having to upgrade to this console.
Xbox Game Pass, it's something that it's a feature that Xbox Series X has, PlayStation doesn't. Why are we not including it?
No, I'm not saying you can include it. You can include it. My only retort would be it's just simply a retort to that. It's like, yes, it's good that it's there, but I would argue that really isn't this isn't an added value to your Xbox Series X if your Xbox. What the hell was it called?
Xbox One.
Xbox One X. Yeah. It's not really an added value to Xbox Series S if your Xbox One X can also play Halo Infinite.
I feel like it is because
I'm not saying. See, here's the thing: it's not something that's good to have. Sure, it's great to have, but if you never upgrade, you still get those. You know what I'm saying? You still already have those games because you already have Game Pass in your last console. So, I'm not saying you cannot include it, because obviously you should include it. It is still a great value to have, and hey, the new console comes with it. This is simply my retort to say, yeah, but you don't need the new console to have it and all that comes with it. So is that really an added value by jumping into the next console? I would say it's not. Now, does PlayStation have something similar to that? No. And are they far behind that? Yes.
But
that would just mean honestly,
I would say this like I don't even want to argue that. I will just agree to disagree and move on, because
that's fine. That's fine. But that will be the retort from anyone honestly, for anyone sitting on the side is like, yes, we don't have Game Pass, but I don't need I don't have Game Pass, but I don't need a Series X to get Game Pass. I can literally get an Xbox One X and get Game Pass and get everything you can get on a Series X.
Well,
you're a third of the price.
You're assuming that the Game Pass is only PlayStation. No. I'm sorry, it's only Xbox, Microsoft titles. When it's not, there are games on Game Pass that you can only play on Xbox Series X. Yes,
true that. Then you're absolutely right.
So,
but they're not exclusive, and there probably is a version of it that's available on Xbox Series X. Oh, Xbox One X.
That is literally what I meant. What I'm talking about. There are versions. There are games which have no Xbox One version. There are games that they're not the Microsoft ones. We already know that the Microsoft ones play everywhere, but there are games that you can get on Game Pass that you can play. You can only play on Xbox S and Series S and X, but you cannot play them on Xbox One S or X. Therefore, you can only play it exclusively on the Xbox Series S and X.
Party? Just out of curiosity, are they first party?
Are they first party? No, they're not. They're not first party
or whatever. Okay.
Yeah,
but you can still play them on Xbox One X.
I mean, they're
It's
not
not
first
through
party,
Game
but
Pass.
there's also don't necessarily have to be on
But there's
PlayStation.
still a way of playing it on Xbox One X.
No.
Not at all.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's
Like what? Give me an
only
example
on
of one, 'cause
Xbox,
I'm curious.
only in Xbox Series. Shit, at the top of my head.
No,
Let me
that's
see. I'll
fine.
have
If
to
you
check.
don't know, it's fine. I was just curious because I was just like,
Yes.
It was about the. So I still stand by my retort, and that is that yes, that's still a great value. And I'm not arguing the value. Honestly, there's no arguing the value. No one can argue the value. The value is ridiculous. Again, so much so that I still stand on the camp that Microsoft is probably losing money on Game Pass, but they're okay with that because they have infinite money. So,
we don't care about the financial. We care about what they deliver us. We don't care about their financials. That's their problem.
The reality is the value is there's no question beyond the value. However, in this case, in the case of first party, until we can find out what the other parties, in the case of first party, there is still a way of playing these on prior consoles. So while that is a great thing to have, because only the Xbox ecosystem has this, it doesn't. The new console, which is what we're grading, really doesn't have that much of a bump because of it. Sure, third party, I guess, until we know which titles are not available on Xbox One X through Game Pass. Which there may be a handful of titles that are not. But is that really a huge bump? It's a bump, but not that big of a bump because, again, you don't need the newer console to play those titles that are available in Game Pass. That's my only report.
You know that you have my love and my respect, but there's just you cannot be more wrong. But I'm also it's 2 a.m. I don't have it in me.
We're not going to argue this. This is actually honestly for the next week.
I don't even have it in me to bring myself to have. I don't have the emotional bandwidth right now to be able to show you. Not even the exact. I'm just gonna say. Cool story, bro.
Love it.
Okay.
Don't worry. We can settle that in a future episode of the Mouthful, sir. We got to get to the report card. That's
right.
What we're trying to do here.
We needed to bring all the points, though. You were about to leave. Games, the most important of them all.
True, that is very true, and I don't know why it is. Just like what it is. I just assume people know the games came out. You know what I mean? I already know.
Like, there's no competition here. Yeah. It's like,
that's not what I mean. It's just like I feel like if people knew the games,
let's be real. That's what it is, though. There's no competition.
It's good that you brought that up, sir. It's very good. So we're gonna grade this in a very uncommon Japanese grading scale. Where S is like A++, which is very rarely given to anything, actually. A+, the next one, A, B, C. There is no D because, well, we already have too many up there. So you have F, and obviously F is the bottom of the barrel. So, sir, what do you give both? Or I can go first if you want. If I can go first, you know what? I'm going to go first, so you can kind of go from there. I'm going to go with.
I was ready,
I know, but just in case you need to make some last minute decisions. So overall, I feel like Xbox is coming out of the gate. I think they are setting the building blocks that will get them to the A plus S later down the road. But right now, for year one, just judging on year one, I'm going to go ahead and give them a C, which is satisfactory in Japanese grading system. Satisfactory. And I will give the PlayStation 5.
Wait. Before you get the PlayStation, let me give my Xbox.
Okay, fair enough.
And then you jump. All right. Okay. So you give it a C, right?
A C, which is satisfactory.
All right. So I'm going to give the Xbox Series S and X. I'll meet your C. And then I fold right there. because that's actually what I feel he deserves also. Yes, the console has
right for the year one, right?
Yeah. For the year for the year one. I mean, the strides are being made, but guess what? They're not here. They're not delivered just yet, and we can't grade on the promise of what's coming.
Yeah, we can't grade on potential. Yeah.
No, it has to be what they deliver, and they have some strong points. They have some cool features, and they have fucking Game Pass, but they don't have the games right now. The first party games are honestly not there, and also this thing of, well, at least it runs a little bit better on the Xbox version of that the third parties used to be. That's no longer the case. That doesn't happen anymore, and in most cases, it's actually the opposite. Games tends to be optimized for PlayStation 5 and then somehow ported to Xbox Series consoles. So sadly, I feel like that's where they land as well, which is satisfactory.
Yeah, it is satisfactory. And for Sony, I'm gonna go with a B. It's good. And it's not. We're not firing all cylinders. They're not. It's good. You have some hits that came out this year. You have some misses on some decisions that they've made, which we didn't get a chance to go into, which is the removal of certain game stores. Just some weird decisions that they made.
Has nothing to do with PlayStation 5, but go ahead.
True. Yeah, yes, overall. You're right. That has nothing to do with PlayStation 5. So just sticking to PlayStation 5, overall, I think they have made a good stride into what they're delivering. They still have not delivered on neither party has delivered on the ray tracing promise that was, hey, games are going to come in ray tracing. And there is literally on both sides literally a handful within 5 you can count games that actually have this, which was their selling point. And I still feel that both of them are being held back by last party, but there has been some good first party delivery. Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, and I feel that gave them a bump. These are not major tent poles, and I think that's important to understand. It's like, yes, they're really great games, but these are not multi million whatever sellers. But overall, I think, I give them a B, according to the scale in front of me.
Wow.
A real B. So one step above Xbox Series X. They're doing a little bit better, but they're not winning. This is definitely not last gen where they're winning by a mile.
Wow. Well, now I got to tell you that
oh boy,
I got to be no. Listen to me. I'm impressed with you. Actually, I'm very impressed. I never took you for being such a Sony hater.
Wait a minute.
And I am actually flabbergasted that to hear you to hear those words, that passive anger that only you can muster. Like, nobody noticed that you're angry, evidently. But I'm gonna, and this is not me being contrarian or anything like that. This is honest to God true what I feel. PlayStation 5 gets an S, bro. What are you talking about? Let me tell you why.
Exaggerating.
Let me tell you why.
Okay.
Let me tell you, because I am not rating towards the entirety of their lifetime, of their potential or anything like that. I am rating what I expected to be delivered on year one. And for year one, to come in strong with a very strong launch lineup, deliver games that, I mean, you say they're not like multi-million sellers. What the hell was Miles Morales then? What Morales was just a thing that they just threw at the last second? It didn't feel that way.
It kind of did feel that way. I still agree. I still feel like it was like they wanted to do part 2, but they kind of half-assed it and said,
no. I feel this was.
It was great. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the Go ahead.
They,
I'm sorry.
They improved the one of the best games on PlayStation 4, which by the way we also got. And ray tracing out to the point where I replayed that game just because of how awesome it looked and it felt and everything. And they gave us Miles Morales, which was also an amazing experience. A little bit more condensed. Yeah, it was not as long as Marvel Spider-Man, but not only that. Say what you will about Demon's Souls, the work that was done on that game is incredible. People wanted a Demon's Souls remake. This is the quintessential Demon's Souls remake. Whether the gameplay is it's not like Dark Souls 3. Well, now you're comparing apples and airplanes. So I will still consider that game to be an incredible surprise to receive on launch date. And there have been others that they have come on. There have been Ratchet and Clank. I mean, my God, that game looks insane. There's no game that
I played it, and it's great.
Yeah,
it is a great game. But
for year one, you had a game that looked like that.
Yeah, and having that there is almost like, well, you got to have that there. It's just like that's expected at this point.
Well, that's all I'm rating. I'm rating on expectation. I'm not rating on the potential because this consoles might blow us away. Like we might look back.
Maybe my expectations were a little bit higher.
No,
that's probably because I was expecting a Horizon this year. Why? Well, let me guess. Because they said it was coming out this year. Oh, and by the way, they also said that the new God of War was coming out in 2021, back when they announced it back in 2020. Now, did I believe it at the time? No, I didn't. But they still announced it and said that it was coming. And
we're not
going to see either of them until next year. So
that happens that still happens every year. Games get delayed. We still got amazing games.
Expectations are the main source of where a lot of this rating for me and for you will come from. It's like, well, yes, we both we didn't expect, like when they announced those things, I was like, that's probably not going to make it. But they still said it would. And then when you look at, okay, now that it's not there, well, what do we have? We have Miles Morales. That's great. That was the beginning of the year.
This console.
What do we have now?
This console made the entirety of the PlayStation 4 catalog relevant again. It didn't have to.
Looking backwards, though.
No, it doesn't matter. It's still value add. It's still value add.
Value add, sure. If you want to look backwards, it's a value add. But
I don't want to. Again, games don't age. Fun games don't age with time. They don't get worse. We gotta stop that mentality that the game is from 2 or 3 years ago. It's not bad, or it was on last generation. Yeah, but if it was an amazing game, I was just telling you about how SSS Tricky is probably one of the best games of all time.
Perfect example
PlayStation 2
is Ghost of Tsushima. Excellent game. I will not take away. That is easy. If I would rate that one, I would rate that one as a fucking S. But the reality is, I've already played it. So you have the special edition. What does that mean to me as a gamer? It means nothing. I've already
brought me. It brought a bunch of games that could not reach 60 frames per second. It completely playable at 60 frames per second. It was a different experience, which you don't.
That's literally expected. That's literally expected from both
consoles. No, not from Sony.
Based on what they were. Based on what they were selling early on, sure, they weren't talking about the smart delivery, whatever, and stuff like that. So sure, it wasn't expected, but the reality is the fact that Xbox was saying, well, this is just going to automatically up-res to 1080, 60 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
Had Sony not done that, then that would just be a strike against them.
That's the thing.
Meeting that line doesn't make him suddenly great. It just makes him also you met the standard, which Xbox already said that this was going to be the standard. Again,
focusing on the expectations, I did not expect Sony to do that because it's Sony, and it's just, of course, I would have expected that Microsoft. Listen,
make them an S.
I expected Microsoft to do that because they did it before. They did it with the fucking 360. Like, why would I not believe that they were going to do it again when Sony did not do that? Microsoft did it with the 360, and PlayStation didn't do it with PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4 for whatever reason.
They couldn't because of the infrastructure.
They didn't do it. Period. The Sony, the PlayStation 5, no one knew the status of the backwards compatibility until that Digital Foundry video that it was as surprising to them, to Digital Foundry.
Because they weren't talking about it.
Not even they were expecting it. So suddenly they putting games back and playing it at 60, it looks amazing. So yes.
But that just means they met the mean. They met the average because at that point, Xbox was already doing that. They didn't suddenly surpass them and say, oh shit, they're running it at 120. We didn't see that shit coming. No, they're doing exactly what Xbox. So yes,
I mean, if we're playing that way, that the backwards compatibility of Xbox is still better because they are adding more stuff.
They didn't go in there and say, "Oh, we're gonna whatever." It's like, no, they just met the line. The reason why they didn't tout that is because yes, as you just pointed out, it's like there's a bunch of other games that obviously meet whatever, and these don't. So they're not going to. That's literally still strike against them. Some games reach that level, while in Xbox, all games reach that level. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
like, it's not the same thing.
Expecting it from Sony, it's still my mind blowing thing.
Neither do you. Neither of us were expecting it.
No. Of course not.
They did it, and they just met the required. This is one of the things that, like, so I should be excited for my kid for making a passing grade. You know what I mean? As opposed to making the sure, and I'm happy that they did. But I still, if Xbox was already, and in this case, the other kid, if the other kid was already getting and this kid made it a C, it's like, well, I'm glad you made it a C, and I love you to death, and hey, good job. But they still made it A, so you know what I mean? It's like, hello. So again, I see what you're going with it, and I understand that the expectation. Yes, the expectation is
the expectation is what I'm rating year one. I'm not rating on what the console is capable of doing in the future. What the games that are coming out. I'm rating the games that came out, the games that I have been playing, the way that I've been using the console, and the fact that I appreciate the storage even better here because it's not proprietary, which I never thought it was going to be the case. But all those things combined is what leads me to believe that it might not be.
It's a great year and a great grade for them. It's not.
Yeah. It is absolute.
And so in S basically means by next year when. Let's say
next year I'm gonna. This is not a fucking curve. Next year I'm gonna rate it based on the expectations of year two.
No.
Yes. That's how it works. No, well, it shouldn't be. Like, are you gonna grade a freaking first grader the same way that you grade a second grader?
I would if they were an exceptional student in the year before. You know what I'm saying? If they were
not standardized though. Yeah. I'm talking about standardization. No, we're talking about the education.
We're talking about state grading. No, if they were a genius,
Sony hater.
They were 2 years ahead of.
Stop arguing. Great. I'm actually praising your console of choice.
I get it, but I'm trying to tell you, curb your enthusiasm, sir.
I can't. If I'm excited, if I'm that excited,
it's not going to be. If you're already thinking year one's an S, man, you are so in for a disappointment with year two.
Well, you don't know that. You don't know
my expectation. Yes.
Well, let's. How about this? How about we wait to year two and then we have a whole new ledger that we can use to rate? But year one, they came out from the get-go. They came out. They went out like on fire. And honestly, when did they take a break? When did they take a break? Yeah.
Since the last major title that they released, first party.
But you still have a bunch of things, and you still
what does that matter?
Well, no, Xbox didn't have. Xbox had Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that's it.
Okay, so are we talking indies? Because Xbox has its own slate of indies.
I don't know about. I don't know any other game that I'm interested in playing on Xbox. I know that the vast majority of games that came out on PlayStation.
On PlayStation. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, so yes, if we're talking about, hey, am I going to switch to that console? No, there is no first party title in year one for Xbox that would make you go to that. And to be fair, there isn't going to be one for some time because whatever you can play, you can just play it on PC anyway.
I'm going to put it in a way that can close us off. It's my fucking grade.
Well, shit. Fair enough. It is your fucking grade, even though you're wrong as all get out.
That's okay. You were wrong with the Game Pass. I'm allowed to be wrong.
I know,
because even I know that fucking PlayStation, like get fucking variable refresh rate like now. Like there's no reason for you not to have it. You obviously have the power and the wherewithal. There's no reason not to have it.
I don't know. I'm not even gonna.
Variable refresh rate. That's another. I feel like we're having that.
Something it should have. I'm not saying it should.
Like the 30 versus 60 argument again. It's like until you experience it, you don't know what it is.
Yes. Sure, that's not true because we were able to experience 60 beforehand, and it wasn't a deal. It was the line is now 60, and now we don't want to go back. 60 frames per second existed prior to it being the standard.
Unless
Metal Gear Solid 5 on PlayStation 4 ran at 60. So
variable unless it dips horribly, which in that case that's probably a game not worth playing. The variable refresh rate will pretty much nullify the dips of frame rate on your games. Like you're not gonna, they will happen and you will not notice them. How is that not huge?
I mean, I'm sure it is, but it's like
you haven't experienced it because you own a PlayStation 5. But when you get it, when they finally get it,
like,
you'll see.
That's just the way that shit works. Okay, moving on. You know what I mean?
Also, you need a TV that is compatible. Which yours might be. Yours might be. You have a fairly new TV. You have to check that shit.
Yeah.
You have to check.
All right, guys. Well, I gave a C and a B, and Mr. Santos gave a C and an S because he is insane in the membrane. But I won't disagree with him, or rather, I won't challenge him on this because he's right. It is his rating.
Yay! Finally, I get one. I drive one home. I'm happy with that.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. As always, please go to goodgame.rocks. Join the conversation there, Facebook group and everything. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. I know this is a long one. We're probably at over 4 hours at this point, but
just fucking skip the first two parts. We'll put that warning at the beginning. It's like, just fucking skip the first two parts. Let's just go to the good part.
This is Mad Dog signing off this week once again saying fear is the mind killer. Mr. Santos Dreamy Twister, take us home.
How the hell did this manage to be an hour and 32 minutes?
I don't know. Obviously, I was just like, oh, this will be a good, quick topic. We're not going to do whatever. An hour and a half later.
Let's be real.
To be fair, you did point out, I completely, I mean, I didn't forget it. I just assumed. I was just people know the game. Do I really need to go into the game? You know?
You had it wrapped up at the 40th minute mark, and then you start talking crap about Game Pass, and that's when it just got.
I swear to God, there's at least 5 or 6 times this recording.
We're wrapping up.
You're right. We're wrapping up. All right, guys. We will see you next week.
GG!